You're now listening to N21FM, a Pokemon podcast. I'm your host, Glenn. I'm joined here not by my usual co-host, Johnny, but instead by the wonderful, now complete cast of the Pokemon D&D podcast, Dunsparce Drampa. How is everybody doing tonight?
Great.
Doing good?
Good.
Great, yeah.
Glad to hear it. I'm joined by Rich, DM of Dunsparce Drampa, Melissa, who plays Cindy, Grace, who plays Elodie, CJ, who plays Gimli, and Jacob, who plays Schmidt. I have been a bit facetious to those of you who have followed the podcast for a little bit. For many, many episodes now, I have been saying, oh man, I really hope I get to work with these guys again. They were a lot of fun. I hope I can someday maybe get them back on the podcast. Peel back the curtain a little bit. The night we did that recording, I was like, hey, we should get on for a spoiler podcast once the finale airs. And we got it set up then. So sorry for lying to you. It was for your own good. I hope you'll understand. Let's see. What do we have to get
that's
into?
inexcusable. I'm out.
All right, see ya.
I'm leaving.
You lied to your audience? Oh, I can't believe we went to work with this guy.
We're getting canceled already, and we're not even a minute into the episode. It's great. Oh, we are a minute, I guess. But I'm excited to be here. The plan tonight, as I understand, well, I made the plan, so I understand it perfectly. We're going to go through what I consider the finale trio of Dunsparce Drampa, which is episodes 108 through 110. That said, this is your one and only spoiler warning. This is for the finale of the show. If you don't want to hear spoilers for that, get out. Come back when you're done, but get out for now.
Yeah, like watch the episode.
Yeah, watch the episode and then come back.
Yeah,
Pause this and then come back.
No, truly, do pause it. It's worth your time.
Like 6 hours later. Don't go to sleep. Don't go to work.
Yeah,
Whatever you're doing.
Listen, call out.
No, but that's
It's
more than
all
6
outside.
hours.
All
All
nighter.
that?
Cancel your
You gotta do it.
appointments.
Well, yeah, that's what the extra 2 hours is for. They have 6 hours to listen to y'all's finale, and then 2 hours to listen to this show. So
Yeah, there we go.
they're calling out sick for the whole workday. No PTO, unless you have it. In which case, by all means. I will also mention we didn't get to have you on last time, Jacob. I'm very glad to have you here. Thank you for making time for me in your very busy schedule. I understand that it was difficult to get you here, so I'm super glad to have you here. Of course, I'm glad to have all of you here, but thank you. I'm glad to have all of you here, of course, but I know that was I fought for that one. Cool. So, where do I start? I wanted to open with, first of all, congrats. This was to all of you. This is the end of an era for you guys. This has been, was it 3 or 4 years? You started in 21,
years.
like March of
Yeah.
21.
Mhm.
Holy smokes! Long time coming that this has been going on. And you guys started it just as just playing the game, not even originally planning for it to be a podcast, right?
Yeah, I mean, originally I was just recording because I had regretted not recording our session 0 because there's a lot of funny things in that dungeon. So I just started recording for DM notes, and then I think pretty shortly after I was like, we should just release it because we got friends who will listen.
Yeah.
And we had friends who listened. So
Sweet.
yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well, I'd say. Super cool. Do you guys have any thought, with the understanding it's been 4 years, and we kind of covered this last time, but I want to open it back up. Do y'all have any thoughts on the game as a whole, or even just the finale trio, having just kind of wrapped it up? Such a long game, seeing the culmination of it all. Do you have any kind of thoughts as it closes that, maybe not specifics to the episodes, but any big things that stuck with you, just as overall things, not too specific? I may have hammered that a little too hard, but I'll open it up to you guys now.
Do you have a order for who answered?
We can go in my viewing order, which will be we'll start with Grace and then go CJ, Jacob, Melissa, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, just general campaign thoughts, finale thoughts. It was so much fun to be with everybody in person for the finale. It was awesome.
Ooh, yeah. I have stuff written for that later.
Awesome.
That I would ask about.
Yeah, no, we're happy to talk about that. It was so much fun. Yeah, I think we've kind of talked about it before. I think among ourselves and maybe with you before, but everything happened the way it was supposed to. It just feels like everything was just laid out perfectly. There's so many things that like talking with Rich about that happened early on in the campaign that came back about like the very first episode with the like ghost type Pokemon were the ones being stolen from NRG to like in the finale releasing those ghost type Pokemon and going into the distortion world. Like that was so cool that like set up from the very beginning. Yeah, I guess I don't have too much to talk about other than that.
Sure.
It was perfect and fun, and I can't wait to do it all again.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. CJ, do you have any overarching thoughts? Anything from that?
Well, the echoing meeting in person, I think for us as a group, it's definitely like helped develop like our camaraderie a lot better. It's something we see in like as we've done other projects, like little things in the background that we've worked on has been awesome. It's just been a lot better. Like the atmosphere for us has been improved. Not that it was bad, it was just the vibes are immaculate. And then I was kind of I was excited to close it out. Not that I'm like, oh, I'm glad it's over, because like the journey was awesome and where we ended up was amazing and storytelling was great and everyone had fun with it. But like starting a new project with this group of people has just been a really like a joy to do.
Yeah, that's super cool
already. So
awesome. How about you, Jacob?
Yeah, very bittersweet, I'd say would be the word. Like very sad that it's over, but very just echoing what everyone else says. Very excited for new projects on the horizon.
Glad to hear that. Melissa, from you?
For me, like this has been 4 years, and like when we first started playing, like we weren't super close. Like we all knew each other, but like over the course of this campaign, like we really became like good friends, and then meeting in person to like bring it all together was incredible. And I love like the campaign was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was like the perfect length too. Like it was a long time. Like 4 years is a long
4 years is a crazy
time. Long time to be like the same character. So like it's like the perfect amount where it's like long enough we all really completed character arcs. And it's good to like tie it up with a nice little bow.
Yeah, sure. Richie, what about you?
Yeah, all the same thoughts. I think there was a lot of growth that occurred with all of us just through our natural lives, just 4 years of time passing, we kind of change and grow as people. But especially with myself for my first time DMing, I learned so much. And then also with Jacob with his first time playing, I think he also had a lot of development just about the game and about storytelling. And so did everyone else. But there was a lot to take away. Developing our friendships was fantastic. And I'm stoked that we're doing more. And kind of to say what CJ and Jacob might have been saying, not to say that like I was like getting burnt out and wanted it to be done, but I did want to put a bow on it. I was like, if we stretch it out too much longer, it might overstay its welcome. So I think I like when we did the finale, and then the way that the story ended up being, and the story that the dice also contributed to was super cool in that final session. So it wrapped up perfectly. I couldn't have asked for a better ending, really.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think you're totally right about if it had gone on too much longer, there is always the possibility of something overstaying its welcome. And you guys did a killer job of wrapping it up neatly and cleanly and putting a very nice bow on it, I will say. I think it's so funny because when I was re-listening to the first show we did together, I remember heard you say like, oh yeah, the dice really tell a story. And first of all, you're right. I remember being like, oh, that's gonna be great. I remember looking forward to it at the moment and being like, it's gonna be nuts, and having really high expectations for it. There are 3 things in my life that have like really lived up to the hype that people have generated for them. One of them was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. The other is Expedition 33, and the third is the finale trio for Dunsparce and Drampa. So you guys are in very rare company for sure.
Expedition 33, that's crazy.
I'm Puss in Boots. I haven't even seen that. I gotta go watch that.
Oh, you should.
Puss in Boots
The Last
crazy.
Wish. The Last Wish is genuinely one of the best films I've seen in recent history.
It's actually insane.
It's better than it has any business being. I got it really hyped up.
It helps teach you about like death. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like coping with that. It's so insane.
Also, the animation
and
is
so did
very...
Dunsparce and Drampa finale.
Oh, true.
So true.
True.
Yeah. Don't cope. Bring it back.
I'm sure we coped really well. Yeah.
Don't cope. Perform necromancy instead. In fact,
that's right.
Yeah. So you guys are definitely in rare air. That is like I said, few things have stood up to the hype that well for me. And I think you guys did great. It's interesting because when I did the first interview, I kind of wrote the questions for you guys going into it almost as if you were like the cast of a TV show. Which I realize now is definitely like doing the game a disservice, because at the end of the day, and you guys have made this very clear to me, like it is more a game that just we happen to be having a window into. Like I never felt like you guys were doing stuff explicitly for the content. It just felt like you guys were having a great game and that we got to watch. Which is so cool, because I feel like it would be very easy to fall into the trap of doing stuff just for the content, or like straying away from the genuineness of playing the game with friends. So hopefully this time around these questions are more conducive to everybody being able to just like talk about their experience and having fun with it, and kind of almost like as a collective we review the game experience. So I hope that comes through. But I guess that's been kind of like a really long intro. Let's move on. I don't know how to, what's the word? Cleanly transition into that.
Yeah.
Segue.
So yeah, segue. That's the word. I'm tripping, y'all. So the beginning of episode 108, I don't have the title written down, so excuse me. But we start with the entire Quacko Packo doing their outfits, actually. I don't know how the recording order went for you guys, but that's of course what we heard first. And I would like to hear from you all, and for the folks at home who maybe haven't listened to the finale yet, which first of all, they shouldn't be here, they should be watching, but for those who maybe wouldn't watch the show despite my protests, I'd like to hear some inspiration for your end of campaign outfits, starting with you, Grace.
Yeah, I had a few different ideas that I went back and forth about for Elodie's final outfit. There was like a first concept that I came up with where I wanted to incorporate like pieces of designs from all of her Pokemon, but then that ended up just being so like muddled and busy, and I was like, I don't really like this. And then I actually saw Jacob's commission for Schmidt's final outfit, and
So
the
good.
cool, like, I won't spoil it. I guess I'll wait for Jacob to get there. But I was a little bit inspired by that design of how having like a more, not simplistic, but like stylized, more simple design might come off a bit better. So that's how I ended up with the idea of having like just one bodysuit. And also the idea of a little bit inspired like space design, because she just came back from the moon. I thought that might be a cool thing to do. And then I don't know if this made it into that episode, but we were joking that we all needed capes.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be fun for her to have more of like a fluffy cabbage Alcremie inspired cape to go along with that. And then of course the matching little star bits in her hair to match cabbage as well. But yeah, that's kind of how I landed on that design.
Super cool. CJ? I'm expecting big things for your outfit. It's very intricate from what I can remember.
So intricate. I literally was like beating myself up to figure out what color overalls I didn't wear yet. And I was just like, well, this one was fine. And then I just like, oh, that whole outfit's perfect. I never wore a dark green shirt either. So it was just like light brown overalls, dark green shirts, still got the boots.
True.
The outfits never change. It's like, why would they?
It's actually very affordable to cosplay Gimli, so
that's what I'm saying. Keep it simple.
Very budget friendly.
So I got the link. I was like, if you go to the spoiler discussion, you could click the link to the overalls that Gimli wore.
Yeah, you don't even need a wig
yourself.
You could just bald cap or really commit and shave your head.
Just shave your head, actually. Be better.
It's about time for me to shave it again.
There you go.
I have thought about shaving my head again, but my wife, I fear, would kill me. I love having my head shaved. But
do it.
I would
it's
pass
so
away.
Worth it. Do it once.
I did it once. Yeah. But again, I would
recommend
be
shaving your head at least once. 10 out of 10. Great time.
I can concur. It's very good. Jacob, you're up next, and you have a piece of artwork that is in y'all's Discord server, the Calyrex Game Corner. So I will be leaving the Discord link, of course, in the description of this video so that folks can see it at home. But Dang, dude. Talk me through your inspiration process for that. And I understand you had like the art piece commissioned. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it started with there'd been a lot of fan art of Schmidt, but nobody had gotten like all of the details exactly right. At least like from my headcanon. So I wanted a piece commissioned that was like, this is my headcanon of Schmidt, right? Like this is my one piece of art of him at the end of the campaign. As far as like the outfit design itself, it was heavily based off of Hawkeye and Marvel Rivals.
Nice.
I saw he had like the bodysuit, and then he also had like his sleeve missing, so he could like aim his bow better. And I'm like, oh, that would just be so sick for Schmidt with his metal arm, like just not have a sleeve on that bodysuit.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It comes very naturally. And then shout outs to Prince Picante in the Discord. They took the idea, they ran with it, and
they were the
incredible.
commission, the artist.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
sweet. Yeah. That's awesome.
And they have just a bunch of great fan art that's in the server as well.
Yes.
Right.
Gotcha.
That was not commissioned.
Wild. Cool. Any
They
closing
were
notes?
the closest,
Yeah, go
so
ahead.
they were the ones I reached out to first. I'm like, hey, your design's kind of the closest to what I have in my head. Here's also what I'd kind of like for like the end game Schmidt, like the outfit and the ideas that I had.
Yeah. It's so crazy too, because when I was thinking about it, I did some, like I said, I went back through the entire series, and I thought about it when we got to like the outfits. I was like, man, aside from of course Gimli, like all of these outfits have changed so dramatically that it's crazy.
Mhm.
Like and Melissa, forgive me, we'll get to you in just a moment. I promise. But I also want to point out, like, everybody for the most part has such drastically different outfits. For instance, like Elodie is like, oh, I'm a baker, but now she's like, oh, I'm actually like this astral, like very anime-esque, like I've got a spacesuit, I've got like stars in my hair, I'm here to kick ass and take names, and I'm in a spacesuit, by the way. And then like Schmidt goes from just your not generic, but definitely like douchey guy. He's like, by the way,
that was the intention, yeah.
okay, yeah, then for sure,
Yeah.
douchey guy to just like, I am a vigilante and a criminal, and I'm wanted in every country in the world. And also my arm's gone. So, but, and even down to like, while less dramatic of a shift, Cindy, actually, I'll let you describe your endgame outfit. I don't want to take that away from you.
So I actually pulled it up because I was like, I'm gonna forget what this looks like. So her shirt, very much like the first shirt where it's that's lit bro. It says get lit bro. Same,
Yeah.
otherwise the same.
Mhm.
Denim shorts, because we were all joking about all needing capes. Her cape has like, it's like a big flame. It's like, oh, she
Sick.
has little like wrist things, little flames on them.
Oh,
And her
nice.
hair's down critically. So like she has her hair in like the ponytail the whole time, and she's like, hair down. We're like growing up.
And there's another
Her
aspect
growing
about her
up arc.
outfit that is a big reveal for the first time in the finale. Do you remember what that is?
No.
The amulet, the Arceus amulet being out for the first time.
Yeah. I forgot about that because I did not draw it because that's hard to draw.
No, it's a very difficult design. But yeah, that's super cool, and they're all also very symbolic as well, which I'm a sucker for. I don't know if it's a misnomer to say that it's writing, but the writing, for lack of a better term, is immaculate in those changes and the symbolism of the outfits. Rich, tell me about your endgame outfit, actually.
Yeah. No, I mean, this isn't a question I expect you to ask, honestly, but I'm glad that you did, because the logic behind like specifically asking the players, what are you wearing every now and then, which is a funny question, is like, it was, the original intention was to kind of punctuate like the seasons, so to speak.
Sure.
Is that it felt like, hey, you've done this arc, and like your character may have grown or maybe has some new thoughts about themselves or the world. How can you represent that in a visual sense? And being an audio podcast, getting those descriptions, I think, is just super helpful for envisioning the characters. So it was a real treat and a real opportunity to ask, what does your character wear to the final battle? Like, that's it's super cool to think about that and decide that, and they're all sick. So
for sure, it's also like a universal experience. Like when you're about to go fight the final boss of any game, it's like, I gotta be dripped out, man.
Yeah,
I can't I can't just show up looking like a bum.
Totally.
So very cool, very well thought out to have that plan, that there would be outfit changes especially for right before the final battle, and multiple opportunities too, because there was like the hotel closed, and then it was like, all right, for real, do you guys want to shop for last outfit? Very, very cool. And then the next kind of, I want to jump forward a little bit here, is we've done a lot of prepping, talking about, the final battle, we've got, this is what we're going to wear, here's our last like held items. And then we get to something that was a very different spin on our normal Dunsparce and Drampa episode, was the vignettes episode 108, Gather Your Buddies. And it was different. It was, you said you were inspired, Rich. You said you were inspired a little by Baldur's Gate 3. Is that correct?
Fully. Yeah. I feel like if you played Baldur's Gate 3, it feels very on the nose. I think Dungeons and Daddies did something similar, but I might have invented that in my brain. But I'm pretty sure in their first campaign, they spent a little bit of time like fast traveling and like getting their allies. So it's a combination of those things. Mostly Baldur's Gate.
I am interested in knowing if you had like, did we get all of the, well, let me phrase it like, I need to frame it like this for those who have not listened. If you have not listened or you won't listen despite my protests, episode 108, we followed the Quacko Packo through a series of vignettes, slices of life, well, not life, but slices of like time where they went around and gathered old allies. I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, so I can't describe it being similar. But gathering allies and getting these boons that would be summon actions in the final fight. So we got there was just a lot of traveling. There was no travel time. And the mechanic that was presented was that the more boons the players collected, the more difficult the final encounter would be. Did the Quacko Packo get all of the boons?
They did not.
Okay.
They got about 2/3 of them, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You had a lot then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, oh man, that's interesting. It's a long list already, just of the ones that you have. But I want to hear, if you don't mind sharing, which boons did the Quacko Packo miss? If you don't mind describing that.
Sure. Yeah. Not only did I think it would just be a fun mechanic to like in effort to tie up the story, you also like had old friends from different parts of the campaign like assist. That's just a really classic kind of heroic fantasy feeling, and it's just really cool and great.
True.
So and then the other thing I wanted to incorporate was just like kind of maybe not hurriedly, but wrapping up plot points that I may not have had like the time to fully express, or I thought wouldn't make for a great arc, but I still had it in my brain. So that's what some of these are. I can just read through them and summarize them real quick. On Route 119, which is the route between the Berry Farm and Fortree, the rainforest, around episode 9, the party stayed with Mel and Kian, their family of Wingle. So they could have gone back there. And then they'd have this summon tool where, what did I describe it as? 10 feet wide, infinitely long straight line. And then any creature inside becomes disoriented and rolls disadvantage on saving throws. So it's just like the goals freak them out. And they're like, eh.
Okay.
So that's one of them. The Mauville City one that they did not visit was called HDR's Big Winnings. HDR is colloquial hot dog rattata.
Oh, hot dog rattata.
Yeah, so if they went back to Mauville...
Can't believe we missed that. No.
That's so sad.
Hot dog.
Yeah, he came back in the Christmas episode. It's fine.
He did, yeah.
Would like to say, by the way, anytime I hear HDR, I know that it's hot dog rattata, but something in my brain makes it come through as Hanklin Delano Roosevelt. So
I could say high dynamic resolution. That's so funny.
Do with that what you will.
That's nuts, dude. That's awesome.
Like in the Christmas episode, I was like, "Oh yeah, HDR," and I was like, "Well, no."
That's fantastic.
Sorry, please continue.
Why not all three? Honestly.
Yeah, honestly, it's a high def image of Franklin Delano Roosevelt holding. As a rat actually crunching down on a hot dog.
So
good for him.
The idea is that HDR was somehow involved in the game corner. HDR and all of his rodent friends would charge into the final battle, scattering coins everywhere. In a 10-foot wide, 50-foot long line, and it becomes difficult terrain, and any creature within the line takes 8d10 normal damage at the start of their turn. So quite a bit of normal damage, just a bunch of rodents with a bunch of gambling coins.
Nice.
Route 111, the Windstreet family home. If they went back there and did some dialogue, they would get the family to participate in the battle. They would get 4 additional Pokemon from Victor, Victoria, Vito, and Vivi to attack. Each attack deals a bunch of damage, 8d10 plus 12.
Sheesh.
Route 113, that's the Spinda route, where the volcanic ash is falling. That would be Calvin and his ninja clan. Calvin turned out to like be on the island for a field trip, but this going back would be, recruiting the ninjas.
Sure.
You could choose 4 Pokemon and roll a d4 for each, and what the d4 landed on would be a status condition. Route 115, that was between Rustboro City and Meteor Falls. We could reunite with the really brief cameo Patreon submitted character Daisy and Cleffa, the Poke Scout.
Oh,
just
wait.
Really brief scene. But yeah, Daisy and Cleffa or Clefairy would provide the Paco with a dozen cookies from the Poke Scouts.
Oh, yes.
And in place of a summon action, you would just have 12 cookies that you could do to heal 50 HP to any Pokemon or human. So that's quite a bit of healing.
Wow, yeah.
We ended up with a funny alternative in the second phase of the final battle. That was basically that.
True.
And was actually instrumental in the victory, honestly. So
yeah.
Only 3 more. Bear with me.
Sure.
At Rustboro City, we could chat with Mr. President. This was a plot hole that I felt left some mystery and then never got resolved. There was a moment where Red, meeting with the Paco, went upstairs because he had to get something from the president of the Stone Corporation, of the Devon Corporation. And then there was a scuffle, and then Red came back. He's like, we're good. And it's did he beat up the president? What happened? The president of the Devon Corporation is Mr. President the Cramorant. And he had the important artifact in his gullet, so Red had to chase him around and get him to spit it out. So
awesome.
If you went back to Rustboro City, Mr. President could assist the Paco, and you would choose a 30-foot circle. Mr. President fires rare rocks and minerals at each hostile target, dealing damage based on how many targets are in the circle. So if you put him somewhere where there's a bunch of enemies, it bounces around like in Unite, basically. But instead of fish and Pikachu, it is rocks and minerals.
So sick. Now, did you make that one super sick because you love Cramorant?
Yes, that's exactly why I did that. And Mr. President came from when Garby and I were playing a ton of Unite when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I played Cramorant because I love him, and Garby was playing Snorlax. And since Cramorant is kind of like a DPS mage, and he's squishy, although now he's you play him super mobile. At the time, I was doing the moveset where you are just a turret. The joke was, "Oh, Mr. President, get down! I will protect you." And Snorlax gets in the way with a big shield.
I would just dive in the way the whole time, protect Mr. President.
Mr. President. And so that was where that joke came from, and I love Cramorant. So that was definitely, if there's any DM NPC self-insert, it's Mr. President.
Nice.
For sure. 2 more. Petalburg Woods, where we met Bud. As a summon action, call upon the denizens of Petalburg Woods, all the mushrooms and the grass types, and they just make a sleepy zone, basically.
Very cool.
Last but not least, this was something that I had intended for the campaign, just as a fairly major quest, major plot point that we just didn't get around to. And again, I wanted to put a bow on it, but I had a lot of thoughts prepared, not necessarily written, of diving further into Dr. Takao Cosmo and Watson's history of working for the Hoennian government, discovering new sources of energy, and then eventually corrupting into what became Neo Rocket Galactic. So there was some lore there. And a lot of the testing that they did was involved on the ship, which is called Sea Mauville. So if they went to the ship of Sea Mauville, it's on the ocean route between Slateport and Dewford, they would have found a bunch of notes and lore about those experiments that they were doing and why Cosmo and Watson backed out, because they're like, this is sketch, this is evil, we don't want to do this anymore. They would have found an infinity energy bomb. As a summon action, you can use the bomb that you retrieved from the wreckage of Sea Mauville. Any aspects or corruptions caught in the 50-foot circle take 150 typeless damage on a failed save. So the idea was that if there is a form that is manipulated by infinity energy, they just get blasted. Which was a cool idea for sure, because all of the bad guys that they were fighting in the first phase were essentially corruptions. They were all being screwed up by infinity energy stuff from the corrupted plates. So
whoa,
that was probably the biggest, that was going to be a whole arc, but I felt like it wasn't appropriate, and / not that we didn't have time, but I just didn't feel like it was worth exploring, so I put it there.
Wow. Based on some reactions, I think, is this everybody else's first time also hearing this list?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot to ask.
I'm looking at the list directly in our Discord where we play the game, so this list exists. I just don't think anyone read it.
Oh yeah, we just don't read.
Yeah, we don't read, Richie.
I shared it on April 28th at 6:20 p.m.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Oh man,
awesome.
Grace, I can't believe we missed on
20th, were we?
So
Grace by that point?
Grace totally knew about it.
I love when I say things that I would say. That's awesome.
True.
I just forgot, I guess. I don't know.
That's so good.
I do remember the Wingle one, because we've been doing episode talkbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Which
and
are
we
awesome,
went
by
over
the
the
way.
episode. We recently listened to the episode with the when we visited and stayed overnight with all the people with the Wingull.
Hmm.
And Richie was like, "Oh, this was a stop that you could have stopped at." It's like, "Oh yeah, we forgot
so
all
sick.
about this place."
Very cool. Oh man, wow, those are first of all huge like lore drops, by the way.
Mhm.
So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I guess now for the cast, like, I need to know from you guys what boons are actually. Hold on, one more thing from Rich.
Yeah.
Because there was one that the cast kind of got as a boon, but I have questions about, and that would be Rayquaza. What the hell was Rayquaza gonna do? Because, like Schmidt, in being very on brand for his character, of course, when it came time to confront Rayquaza and prove his worth, said, and I quote, actually I don't quote because I don't remember correctly, but along the lines of "fuck you, I don't need to prove myself."
Yeah. No, it was perfect.
I think it was "fuck your family drama, I'm out of here."
Yeah,
Yeah, something
that's what
like
it was.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, what did you have planned originally for Rayquaza's boon?
I don't want to go too far into it because, as I said a lot, like if something is not experienced or seen by the Paco, with the exception of this list that I just ran through, because
Sure.
I felt like it doesn't impact the story that much. I don't want to, like, I hate thinking of, like, how do I want to put this? The only things that are canon are the things that the Paco did and experienced. Right?
Okay.
That being said, I want to give little treats and stuff for you because you're asking, and for the listeners because, of course, there were things that I planned for that didn't happen. That's just the nature of playing a TTRPG. Rayquaza's not that exciting. It's exactly what you'd imagine. It's Rayquaza. There's really not a whole lot to go into there. And honestly, out of all the boons that I drafted, it's the most boring because it's just Rayquaza.
It's just Rayquaza, yeah.
True.
Yeah. The intention with Rayquaza was that the idea was it was going to help out a lot with NRG's main weapon for the first phase, which was corrupted Groudon. However, the party found a totally different solution that was much better than Rayquaza.
So Dice told the story on that.
Yeah,
Sure
Rayquaza turned out to not be
Really?
needed at all to deal with Groudon. So
Very awesome. Cool. So cast, I need to hear from you, and we'll start with Grace again. What was your favorite boon that you used, or now that you've heard the list, that you didn't get to use? And an addendum to that question, or amendment perhaps, specifically looking at Hoopa's big trick, if that was one of your favorites, if there was another legendary on that D12 table that you would be or like were a fan of, or like we're really excited about, but in the time game, of course, it was selected. Yeah, sorry, I guess that was not an elegant way to end that question, but Grace, what was your favorite boon from the list that either that did or didn't happen?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna need to look at the list again. No, I think I know, and it was so funny when we were gathering the allies. This was one that I think it was one of the first ones we did, and it was the Corsola. Just because it's really funny, the idea that first of all that the whole boat experience, then being able to now just summon an army of Corsola is very funny, and I have my lovely Corsola plushie that I received when I did use that summon. And then also just being able to use that to just like push a whole bunch of grunts, and I think one of the admins off of the cliff that we were on.
I think
Yeah.
two of
Yeah,
them.
two of them. Yeah. So very, very helpful in the fight, and also just kind of really funny.
Yeah.
I think the Corsolas are my favorite. I think that was funny. And then as for Hoopa's big trick, I think it's kind of funny because you think about Hoopa's big trick, and it's like, oh, summoning a whole ass legendary, that's gonna be so crazy and OP and be so instrumental in the fight. And then I think we like summoned Dialga, and like he like almost immediately fell into the giant dispersion hole.
So we barely so fast.
Yeah, we barely used it. Yeah, I don't know. They're all really cool. I think it was something we were discussing because in this list, Landorus, there's just him, and then the rest of them, like he's not a box. Most of them are box legendaries, I think is the idea. He's not. And then we were discussing, I think, potentially increasing that to all three of the horses of nature or something. I feel like that was a discussion that we had.
I think that was in a post show.
Yeah, something
that
like
the viewers
that.
can view on y'all's Patreon.
Yes, absolutely. Subscribe to the Patreon. Yeah, I think Landorus and or the rest of the forces of nature would have been really cool. I love those guys.
Very cool. Yeah. Awesome. Anything else before we move on to CJ?
No, that's it for me.
Okay, cool. CJ, what are your thoughts on this list of boons?
So I had two. One, I was so irrationally excited for the Probopass nuke from orbit.
Yes.
And it worked out phenomenally. So it was fine. It's like that one right there, get him, and then just boom, deleted. Wonderful.
Truly.
I was like, that's my boy.
Yeah.
And then I really just loved the Kyogre one shot thanks to the fans. Like, let's go fans.
Yes.
I was reliving that when we just posted a TikTok about it. That
So
was like
good.
really bad. I was like, I remember that moment. It was wonderful.
That
Oh
moment
my
was
god.
so hype. For those who are listening and who have not seen this finale, there's a moment where Cindy is controlling a alpha primal Kyogre.
Probably,
In a
right?
It was
in a-
Alpha, yeah.
okay. One and
I
the
just
same
used
almost.
the prime. What is it? Primal Kyogre.
Yeah,
I just used that
yeah.
image because I
Okay.
figured that's
An
genetic
alpha Kyogre in a conquest against a giant, evil, corrupted Groudon that is being controlled by Team NRG. And because of a mechanic in the game, Cindy could not give direct instructions, instead had to roll a d4 to select a move. And the dice said sheer cold. And because of one of the boons that was, what you guys called them, the Quackies,
The Quackies, yeah.
the Quacko Packo fan club, they were allowed to select one of their rolls and just auto crit it. And so, Kyogre just one-shots the giant angry lizard to that was supposed to be a really big fight. Which, of course, to everyone, there's a TikTok of it up now. You guys should go watch it. It's so awesome. It was so hype. Totally agree with that, CJ.
And I guess the Hoopa. I was I mean, looking at it, I think it's just the movesets that have me interested, and I really
Yeah.
wanted to know what it would have been like to have Terapagos with gravity, and just to see what would happen with that.
Yeah.
Just to see what shenanigans we could get up to with that. Because I wanted Dialga to use like Roar of Time and just to rip through stuff, but he was just dead weight.
Yeah.
As expected. Useless time dragon.
Classic.
Idiot.
I was always a Pearl
Worthless,
guy
yeah.
anyway. What a shame.
Yeah.
Very cool. Jacob, what are your thoughts on these boons? Any that you used or did not use?
One thing, I don't know if it made it into the final edit, or Richie just did it for us, but with some of the boons, Richie gave us plushies at the table,
I was
so there was
wondering what that
plushies associated
was.
with it.
As they were being
Yeah.
activated, all the boons that we ended up taking, I think except for a couple, I couldn't find a Sliggoo plush and I couldn't find a Tyranitar plush, but I think all the other ones, as each person said they were using it, I gave them a plush of the Pokemon that was involved.
Aw. I love that.
So I had packed very tightly going there, and I wasn't able to bring all of them, but I was able to bring Deoxys home with me.
Yo!
So
That's so
And
sick.
Deoxys was used in a really cool way also.
yeah, he sits on
Yes.
my shelf and watches me sleep at night.
Oh, that's... Yeah,
It's pretty standard for Deoxys, actually.
very cool.
Yeah. What's really messed up is I only have two other plushies, one of which is an Octillery that belongs to Richie. That's just been passed around for other players that have gone to tournaments.
Mhm.
And Sonic plush, and he sits in the middle, so it's Sonic in between two orange tentacle monsters.
Sick. Good for him.
Yeah. He loves
Not-
God,
Not
I wish
by-
that were me.
I gotta go.
That's recorded. That's on recording. We can't edit that out. Like you're
No.
stuck with that.
Kira's
Kira's
not
not
here.
here.
Save you.
Jarvis, edit that out. Like,
There is no Kira here.
you could get me to
God.
admit that to my grave, dude.
I live by that.
You
No,
do,
I live by
and I
it.
and
You
I
can clip
respect
it.
that a lot.
I respect
No,
that. As
Yeah,
you should.
yeah.
Hold
As
me
you
on that.
should.
Kira, yeah, keep that in.
So that same joke was made, by the way, when Deoxys and Giratina were on the same spot in the battlefield. Just in
We
case you
just
forgot.
say it all the time, but yeah. This is...
Oh man, that's awesome. Oh, by the way, note on that boon: the use of Deoxys, like you said, being sick, very very cool. I love that another boon was used to act on it. It was the Kmart squad paralyzing
yeah.
Deoxys, so it couldn't come closer to you guys.
Yeah, that was
Very
super
cool, very clever
Mhm.
gameplay. So Squid, you said Deoxys was probably your favorite boon, then?
Yeah.
And do you have a
As
favorite
far as
the
the
Hoopa table? And if you don't, that's fine
Uh,
too. I just thought I'd throw it in there as a bonus for everybody in case they had more to say on it.
I don't know. Ho-Oh's a funny guy. I like
True.
Ho-Oh.
Big chicken.
That's
Yep.
the end of my statement.
All right. Shout out Ho-Oh.
Glenn, before we move on, I'm not sure many listeners know the full table. Should I just read out the 12 choices?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Lugia, Ho-Oh, Dialga, Palkia, Regigigas, Landorus / Forces of Nature, Reshiram, Zekrom, Zygarde 50%, Zacian Crown, Zamazenta Crown, and Terapagos Terrestrial.
It's a sick table, by the way. Yeah, love that. And it landed on for the final recording. It was Dialga, of course.
Mm-hmm. Which didn't matter.
True. You guys even strategized to be like, all right, we save Roar of Time for the last turn, and then he did not get his third turn in combat.
Mm-hmm.
So, pour one out for that guy. Melissa, what was your favorite boon?
I think my favorite was the the sheer cold auto crit.
Yeah.
That was just a crazy moment. Like, because I didn't expect to roll that, because I mean, obviously what was in, like, the TikTok and the short, like, I think I had to roll to see if I could tell Kyogre what to do. And then I had to roll, because I rolled a certain thing, he picked something. It's like, okay, you told him to attack Groudon, but whatever I rolled was, like, he's choosing the move, not me. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So then I rolled, and it was sheer, like, it was just chance that it was sheer cold. So then to use the auto crit to just make it happen was...
It was like you guys have been saying. It like the dice really told a story, especially with that roll particularly.
And for clarity, the sheer cold mechanic in this game is that it only works on a 20. And then it just KOs. It drains HP to 0. So
crazy, by the way.
Yeah.
Which leads me to I wanna get this question in before you are off to feed Crunchwrap Supreme.
Yeah.
We've talked in the past about how in other boss fights where like a crit or like let's call it like a bug, right, has caused another battle or mechanic to kind of get circumvented, you've been able to recycle those mechanics into other combats in the campaign. Did you get that opportunity with Groudon's mechanics? Were those recycled into the Giratina fight, perhaps? Or did you get that opportunity?
No. Groudon wasn't particularly interesting. I really wanted the first phase to just be like, beat a bunch of guys. With the side reconnaissance mission. That was like kind of my vision for it. Was like, someone needs to get the hostages, and then you got to beat a bunch of guys. That's what happened. Right. Groudon was really just a meat stick. It had a ton of HP, and it was supposed to Precipice Blades like all the good guys at once, basically. But
I think the recording, he had like 400 something, if I'm not mistaken. Crazy. Crazy HP amount.
So much.
He was going to be nasty, but it was treating it as a bug. I feel like is kind of the wrong vision for it, at least for me. It's not like antagonistic at all that the Paco defeated it in such a cool way. Like, that was sick. Like, I didn't want to use Groudon after that. I was like, yeah, you fucking did it. You know, like it would have been fun. So no, I didn't get a chance to recycle it, but it wasn't that interesting, to be honest.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if you had like some shenanigans of him doing stuff to tank or like absorb hits more or less.
Not really.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad it worked out in a way that you enjoyed, maybe even better.
Definitely.
And I certainly enjoyed the auto crit versus Groudon. That was an insane moment. I had to restrain myself. I was listening at work. Every time that I listened to it, I was listening at work, and I'm having to hold myself back from like, holy shit, this is too good. And just popping off at my bench. So yeah, very interesting design choice.
Did I cut you off, Melissa?
I was just trying to say, like, something that Vigi had said, like, when we were getting the boons, he was like, the more that you do, the more time NRG has to collect whatever they're trying to collect or get whatever they're trying to get. So the more that you do, the more that they get. So that's why we tried to strategically pick the things that we did, because they're like, we want to do as many as we can without doing too many to get as much as we can without giving NRG too much. And Richie told us, like, after everything, that everything we did got NRG to get Groudon. And then immediately gone. Right on site.
That's awesome. Jeez.
Which I think is kind of poetic as well, where it's like everything we did made him appear and then also
made him disappear. Yeah. That's awesome. Was there more than, was that the extent of the, not punishment, but the scaling for NRG's strength? Or was it all like number increases, or were there more things, more like, was there another Pokemon that would have caught, or like another mechanic that would have been introduced?
Yeah, it was really just going to be difficulty at that point, like the
Okay.
things that are already baked in. I think I was going to include like one additional mon per mob that the Zeppelin was blasting down. Groudon was like the 50% point.
Gotcha.
Was that. There was some other shenanigans that could have happened on the reconnaissance mission, but I can't remember what they were right now. But no, it was pretty straightforward. I just like the idea for TTRPGs in general, not even for the finale, but for the whole campaign, just maintaining the notion that the bad guys are always up to something.
Yeah.
And while you don't have to confront them all the time, they will be advancing their ground on you, whether or not you are addressing them. So I wanted to tie that in here is like get all these power-ups, but they are also getting power-ups. So strategically think about where you want to go and how many people you want to bring, because the success of getting each boon, which was determined on how many people were there, and also there were some character-specific bonuses too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very, very cool. It speaks honestly, and of course not to just glaze Rich, but like that's really good game design. Especially for it being, like I've said before, like your first DM, that rips. That's very very good foresight and forethought. And good design. So well done. I enjoyed listening. I'm sure everyone enjoyed playing as well. It's very evident that they did. So moving on from there, or actually, Melissa, did you you pointed out the legendary, right? That you had
Oh,
thought
no.
about? Did you have one? If not, we can move on.
I had no thoughts.
Okay.
The legendaries I'm more like a fan of, like Kyogre, Groudon, like they were there. They were there already.
Sweet.
I do want to point out that the Hoopa's Big Trick legendary summon was the first thing that the Paco obtained. They're like, oh, we want to go to the trick house. And everyone was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, that are all of them going to be like this? And then immediately, Gimli and Schmidt went to Pacific Log to get the coral conch for the Corsola, and they were like, "This is even better." And it's funny because it's just a bunch of Corsola, and it's true, like it's a stronger thing.
So much better.
It's just really funny,
especially in practicality, since Dialga did nothing.
Yeah.
Not nothing.
The Corsola did a lot. They did the most.
Corsola did an insane
the
amount.
Lord of Time, nothing.
Yeah,
garbage.
A bunch of coral.
Go back to your clocks.
Crazy.
Get out of here.
Go back to your clocks. That's awesome.
Get out.
Oh man, yeah, the boons were crazy. Also, yeah, taking out 2 admins was bananas. Like it's crazy how quickly you guys dispose of the admins. And I wanted to point out, I have it written down somewhere. Enya was the admin with the Gardevoir, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. Are you guys aware that we effectively never find out what she can do?
Yeah,
because both combats that she's in, she
obliterated.
gets obliterated immediately, and she's not played in the NRG one shot at all.
That's
so
awesome.
She's just lost to time. Like she does not exist effectively.
That's awesome.
Fine.
It's like she was there to absorb a nuclear blast, pretty much, and that's about it. Oh man, so that's super cool. Where do we want to move from here? I understand Rich is about to partake in feeding.
It's fine. I mean,
okay. I just
we
don't
have to make a ceremony
you have
of
to time
it.
this perfectly.
I'm trying
it's very
to.
important.
I'm trying to.
Where he will attack.
Yeah, it's important.
All right.
It's important to
You'll
me.
just
It's
scream at
important to
me.
you. It's
He
important
will
to Crunch.
scream.
Thank you.
So from here, I kind of wanted to go through. I personally went through each of the like major beats of each episode, and I think this first one is. I just had a better thought, I think. What do we think as a cast about uniting with an unlikely ally in Uranus? As like right before, it's very brief, right? But at the end of episode 107, I believe, into 108, you guys team up with Uranus, a former NRG admin, former obliterated twink, who is defecting from NRG and decides to help you guys. What were your guys' initial and maybe lasting impressions from Yuri as an ally and not so much just this thorn in your side character? We'll start with Grace.
I think Yuri as a character is so like indicative of Dunsparce and Drampa, like the whole first campaign as a whole, of just like starting off very silly, of like this guy who's just like, oh, we're just gonna obliterate this twink, and then ends up coming back to be kind of more emotional and deeper of this whole idea of like, oh, his Spassky Legion was taken from him, and oh, we want to help him now. I think that just is such a little vignette of like themes that I think are pretty important throughout the whole campaign, of just like yeah, some things are silly and fun, but like also there's an emotional depth to them, and that's my kind of thing. I love stuff like that where it's like comical on the surface, but like there's a hidden depth to it, and I think that's really cool. But yeah, I think when we first found out about how he had his Spastic Legion taken him, I was a little skeptical at first, but I'm glad that we came around to him and that he ended up actually being a pretty cool ally.
Yeah, for sure. CJ, you got Gimli's got the most time interacting with Yuri. What are your thoughts on how he played into participating with your team?
I think at the time I kind of viewed him as like the example of a person that you look at and you're like, oh, this person's a jerk, and then you sit there and think about it, and you're like, oh, maybe they're just having a bad day.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're just having this like experience that you're outside of, you're not a part of. But then when he included you in that part, you're like, oh, I kind of get it. Like if I was put into your position, I would probably do the same thing and have that same experience. And then you're just like, oh no, he's actually a decent person. And you could see that through probably a few other ones. Like some of them were sociopaths. But he was just like, no, he was an all right dude. Like, and he was just in those set of circumstances doing the things he was supposed to do. And then he's like, oh, wait, this is kind of screwed. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then he didn't. And he's like, I want to do the right thing now. And that's good. You can see that, like, people can transition just like that. It's like, oh, now it's usually the other phone. It's a good day for them. Like, we can make that adjustment. Yeah. But yeah, it was so funny before. Like, it was just like, oh, I hate this dude. And that's fine because I hate all of them.
Yeah.
But it's okay to be like, look at them like, oh, never mind, you're a cool guy, you're fine. But I hate the rest of them. Like, we can still do that. Like, it's not like they're all redeemable.
It's interesting that you brought up the note about how like some of them were sociopaths, but he was just a guy. And that I believe Squids, Jacob, you played Yuri in the NRG one shot, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I find it interesting that even in that, you also didn't play him to be this psycho. Yuri was almost the straight man of the NRG one shot. And it's so interesting that you played him that way. Sorry, that you played him that way.
Be so real. Yeah. I have no memory of playing the NRG one shot.
That's okay. I just find it interesting that you played him that way, and it ended up inadvertently even being a big contributor to what humanized Yuri and made him such. I think he's a very memorable part of the finale trio. Because and I'm sure there was like going to be a means by which everybody was able to communicate completely agnostic of if Uranus was present, but he was there for like gathering everybody and being like, oh, here's all this information on energy, and here's here's some earpieces, by the way, some Britney Spears mics for you guys to talk to each other. I don't know, that he as a character sticks out to me, so I think it's interesting that you guys that Jacob, you inadvertently contributed to that arc a lot. So with that said, Jacob, I'd love to hear your take on Yuri as an ally in the finale.
Dude, I got no thoughts.
Sure.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
I did not remember anything about him whenever I played him. It was definitely and we've touched on it before, a lot of the times when we play this, we just play it and we walk away,
Sure.
So I had no thoughts about him going out. I think it was cool that he was like bone collector, man in the chair, coaching us through everything or whatever. But yeah, outside of that, nah.
No, that's plenty of good thought. That is exactly what I was asking for. Melissa, what are your thoughts? I feel bad that yours is always has been last, so we might switch it up on the next question. So I'd like to hear your thoughts.
That's fine. I mean, the dichotomy of the first time we meet Yuri, he's like, you better listen to us or we're gonna blow up the moon, and we were just like,
that is the first time.
What?
We didn't believe him. We were like, no way. You're fucking stupid.
You sound insane.
Truly.
You just sound like a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
And then CJ obliterates him, and it was so funny. But we were just like, oh, they're not recon, but they're face to face person who goes out and does interactions with people is this guy.
Yeah.
And then because of that, he has I guess the connections that helps us do everything we need to do at the end when he turns his back or whatever on energy and helps us out.
Yeah.
But it was something.
For sure.
The dichotomy of the first time we see him to him being okay, we got earpieces, we got all your connections, we got this, we got that, here's who to talk to, here's my code to get into things on the ship, here's
Oh, true, I forgot about that.
Super helpful. Incredibly helpful.
Yeah. Awesome. No, I agree with that stance as well. Richie, do you have any thoughts on Yuri as an ally before we move on? I know that you have maybe less to say, but you might not. You might have more.
I don't know. I like the admins. They're one of the first groups that I came up with. I didn't feel super like I really wanted to push their identities in the campaign a whole lot unless they were like discovered naturally. But no, it was cool. I wasn't always like, it wasn't always planning that he would defect. I was just thinking about the scenario and stuff, and I was like, it is weird that they're harvesting ghost types and he has one, you know? Yeah. And that just eventually evolved. He's like, yeah, he wants his fish back. And I thought it was a cool opportunity to explore that character a little bit, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Very nice. Yeah, it worked out really well. Excuse me, I'm burping. Cool. We've talked through kind of a lot of the major beats of the first phase of the combat, with it being, if you haven't listened, it was like every type got a wave of enemies, almost to kind of like force the Paco into expending their boons, just to be a lot of bodies to take care of, and of course Groudon was present. Was it just serendipitous that Schmidt was the one to go on the recon mission, or was that just like this was always going to happen because of who these characters and players are?
That was by design, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't a lock that it had to be Schmidt, but it was like if we had to pick a Quacko member to do stealthy recon, it like I would have been surprised if we would have run it if it was Elodie. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been that different, but
he's just the rogue archetype, so he just like fits into that.
And admittedly, function. I definitely throughout the years of the campaign, I've kind of pushed everyone into archetypes a little bit, especially early on. So it made sense.
Okay, yeah, I thought that would be the case. I wanted to ask just in case. Let's see. The next kind of like phase that I have. Oh, by the way, I want to point out, and maybe you guys. Hopefully you guys remember this, or maybe have forgotten, and this will jog your memory. The Rada has a gun bit had me in stitches. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Recently. Yeah,
so
when I was scanning through the audio, yeah. We were just like, I think it was mentioned that he like had a gun in it, but we're like, call the police, get him out of here.
I think he was like reaching for something. It was probably like the stick to snap in Agon's face. But he starts reaching for something, and somebody's like, "Oh my God, Rada's got a gun!" And that had me cackling. I couldn't help it.
I just love the concept of like the gun is way more dangerous than all these mystical things, and there's the mythos behind a weapon when there's like
giant
these things
metal
are just
dinosaur
like,
thing just comes barreling at you. Oh my God, a gun!
He has a single firearm.
Yeah, and gun is the most powerful thing.
That's really funny.
It
was contentious to introduce a single gun into the campaign, but I'm glad I did it at the end of the day. But
it was
funny.
So perfect.
If any listeners are like, that doesn't make sense to me, I totally get it, dude. It was a risk. It really was, and I think it mostly works, but it's still something to be careful about for sure.
Yeah,
I think it certainly worked. I enjoyed how it was implemented. And maybe that's just a personal.
If you
opinion.
do it in your campaign, one of your players is going to get pinged about it almost weekly.
Yeah,
True.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jacob.
People love talking about the gun in the Discord.
which it's just so weird.
We started like a bit where it's like, it's been 0 days since the gun was mentioned.
I was just about to say,
like
I love seeing
time.
the message that's like, 0 days since the gun's been mentioned. I guess time to restart the counter.
We're on like a new streak right now, but I think it's because the campaign ended.
Yeah.
But like, no one's really brought it up.
Talk about the gun anymore.
I can't believe no one's talking about the gun that doesn't exist.
We did use the gun.
Yeah,
so there was the satisfying
resolved.
Yeah.
There were
gun
still 3.
used.
There were still 3 bullets in the chamber. You could have shot Giratina 3 times.
Yeah,
I'm glad you did not. That would have been silly.
What would that have done?
Probably absolutely nothing.
No, you just bring it into.
We would have had to put one of the plates in the gun and then shot the
gun. To find all the
Wait,
in the world.
so we take
no,
the
so we like
entire
we have
alpha
the
VCR.
Alpha
and
gun.
We have the gun in the VCR, yeah.
Your tutor, yeah.
Oh my God, the gun plate.
The aspect of Smith and Wesson.
Plate, yeah.
We were waiting for that last type to come in.
Wesson.
The aspect of manufacturing.
That's so sick.
That's pretty good.
No, it did end up being really graceful that you just used it for not violence, which is pretty sick. The most gun violence was when Cindy almost shot somebody.
Found it. I'm like, oh, let me put the safety on.
What's this?
And it's like,
That's
Do you know
so
how to
good.
put the safety on? Well, I guess not.
Bummer, dude.
Wasn't that a nat 1 for that roll too? Like
It
a
was,
spell
yeah.
attack?
That's why
I
it
could
went
have
off.
died on the spot.
The
I think Rich
the
revealed
dice
that
tell
the-
the story.
I think Rich revealed that the only way it would have gone off is with a nat 1.
Correct.
Cool. Moving on from there. We kind of talked about the blimp mission. I think it's sick. I love that you put Nick in the energy in the blimp. I'm trying to think of where I went from here. I guess kind of the next thing to talk about, unless you guys have any more notes on, I guess, phase 1 of the final battle, we could move on to the distortion world. Do you have any thoughts before we move to that?
Specifically, Nick in the blimp had a licky,
Mhm.
and Richie, he told me he didn't do this intentionally, but I had beef with licky because of TCG Pocket.
Yeah.
Whatever that set dropped, I had pulled every rare of licky, and that was the only EX I pulled that set, and I had no interest in playing that card. And I'm like, give me something else besides licky. So I had beef with licky, and then we get to the campaign, and Nick has a licky, and I'm looking at Richie like, you bitch.
It was done on
awesome.
purpose. He was a gym trainer for Whitney, so I was like, okay, he's got a great normal type. It's late game, and it's got to be able to snatch something from far away. I was like, it's licky, just a complete coincidence.
Incredible. Sweet. All right, I guess we can move on then to part 2, which starts in episode 110. Or I guess starts at the very end of 109, where you guys, where in the midst of this combat, right, the giant portal opens, people jump in, and then the absolute pop off that I hear, it almost gave vibes of like listening to somebody in like the next room over, levels of popping off, when Rich pulls out the second map, and it's the distortion world, and it's absolutely crazy. And Jacob, you actually pulled up to the mic. He's like, guys, if you did not see, since you can't hear this for your audio listening, Rich just pulled out a second map of the distortion world. It sounded like there was like an emergency happening in the background. It was so funny.
We popped off so hard that our recording equipment stopped working during the pop off, and we had to go back.
Oh no!
It was great timing,
Dang.
though. Really.
Yeah.
Was it on the back?
No, it was a
Other
separate.
map?
Separate.
It was
second
map.
map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Second
Gotcha.
map that hit the table. Yeah.
A
Very
second
cool.
map did hit the table. Truly.
Mr. President, a second map has hit the table. Cool. So, moving swiftly on into the distortion world, I'd like to talk about, first of all, very cool. Was it always going to be the distortion world in Giratina at the end? Or,
I mean,
yeah.
It's tough because we're doing this Hoenn campaign, and the final boss being Giratina is like kind of funny. But it was really set up where NRG was using the infamous resources of Team Rocket to relocate Cyrus and complete his goal of recreating the universe. That was like
Mhm.
that was the inspiration behind Neo Rocket Galactic as an evil identity. Was like it's like in Johto the games when they're like, we're gonna get Giovanni back. It was the same idea, except they
Gotcha.
knew where Cyrus was. It was just impossible to get to him. So they had to, compete with the Paco to retrieve the ancient artifacts and MacGuffins to actually gain access to him. It was mostly the plan from the beginning. Yeah, it
Gotcha.
was, honestly. If I'm thinking about it, yeah, it pretty much always was.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to have something Hoenn related, but the Sinnoh legends have so much more gravity, I guess, pun intended, in a way for that. They're like the creator gods, so it was like it's a lot more dramatic.
Yeah.
At least for this first campaign. I don't think every campaign needs to be a kill god angle, right? But just for
sure.
me being my first time running, I was like, this is a fun and tropey and iconic way to like wrap it up. So
yeah,
I just wanted to lock in the Giratina final boss because it's Satan, it's just cool. And it was easy to plan around. So
yeah, it was a cool encounter design too. So I'm curious about the map. Was the you had shared in the Calyrex Game Corners Discord that you shared the original image of the map. Now, in the episode, it is described that everything is like a bunch of islands shifted apart. There's like vast expanses between them. You got to jump between them. While Cyrus is giving his speech, his whole thing, and then they all come together to form one place. Was there a third map or like a flipped over, or did you guys just theater of the mind that?
To be perfectly honest, like the final boss fight really like didn't fully need the map. Like there was a lot going on, and I'm glad we had it. But compared to the first phase, we kind of ran that fight more similar to how we ran most of the other fights, where we just kind of used the map as a point of reference, and then the only thing we really needed the map for was for Giratina's big attacks. But the concept of that map was if you're in the certain location, you can just hit Giratina because he's so fucking big.
Yeah.
So yeah, compared to the first phase, we kind of it was more just for fun and for flavor and for Giratina's big attacks than it was actually for mechanics, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it also like the atmosphere it brings was the heavy lifting that it did.
Yeah, if we're playing in person, we're gonna use maps, like for sure.
Yeah.
So,
which kind of leads me. I didn't get a chance to touch on this. How was it playing in? You guys have all spoken about it briefly, but does anybody have anything to add to the experience of playing in person together? Have you guys played together before this moment, or was this your first time ever like even meeting in person?
It was my first time meeting anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, different degrees for all of us. I had stayed with CJ and Melissa to go to a Secaucus regional, so we'd hung out before. I saw Grace in passing at a different regional. I hadn't seen Jacob at all. So this was the first time we were all together, for sure.
Gotcha. Melissa, you were about to say something.
I was just saying that, like, it was most of us meeting for the first time, aside from Richie stayed with us.
Okay. Do we have any thoughts that we haven't already iterated about how that experience was? Any fun moments to share from that?
Oh, too many.
It was so much fun.
And also, do not feel
immaculate time. Yeah.
Do not feel pressured to like what's the word? Not indulge, but like
divulge.
Yeah, divulge. Thank you. Divulge anything that you care to keep for yourselves because that's special and you should have that. But if you don't have anything else, no.
Just a bunch of niche micro celebrities at a cabin, you know?
Yeah. True.
We were in this like really small town.
Super rural.
We were like 15 minutes from the small town in this little cabin on a lake.
Oh no.
So we drove like into town to get like food and go to this little mart. The first day we were there, everything was closed because there was a funeral in town.
Oh, no.
Immaculate timing.
I was wearing
foreshadowing,
my
by the way.
Paco Funeral Services shirt. And I was like, is this insensitive? I was like, oh no.
They're like, we can't be here. Like,
I was like, I have to go, actually.
I have to change.
It's like a little bookstore. We're like, oh, let's go to the bookstore. Let's go to the subscription
There
shop.
was one
Everything's
point
closed.
We were just walking down the street, and then like there was some other dudes like walking like past us, and Grace said something about like, yeah, I'm just like a micro internet celebrity just walking through town or something.
And they looked
they turn around and go like, should we know them?
All
Who
right.
are they?
Yeah, it's a small enough town where the death of someone results in every business closing. That can help you give you the perspective.
Yeah, that gives you the scale. Yeah.
That's wild. That's truly wild. Oh man, that's really funny.
But it was so fun. Like it was like a little vacation for all of us. Like we're just a bunch of friends on vacation who happened to spend 8+ hours at a table playing this D&D campaign, like the finale.
Was that one sesh or across 2 days?
2 days.
We did 2 days.
2 days.
Okay.
And it was multiple. It was 3 or 4 sessions because we took breaks for meals and stuff.
That makes sense. That would have been crazy to do it all at once. That would be exhausting.
Oh yeah, we were like, I think after we went into the distortion realm is when we were all like, we were losing our minds because some of us had started like having some adult beverages.
As you should.
So like we were, and it was late. We played until like almost midnight, right? Like it was late. We're like, we just gotta go to sleep, guys.
Yeah.
I was like, we're too old for this. Midnight, crazy.
Yeah.
We're getting into single-digit night hours. Can't do that.
I will say one aspect of playing in person that was amazing was for the last hour or 45 minutes of gameplay, I did all my rolls in front of everyone rather than behind the screen. And that added a lot of really cool drama for like the very end of the fight. Super cool.
True. Yeah, you can't really do that with the medium of it being a call.
Yeah, I mean you can turn on a camera and just show, but like it's not the same. You know? The energy
it doesn't hit the same.
There's a certain drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, the multiple bud deaths were fully televised as far as like targeting, you know.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember freaking out at the first butt death, and then you guys go back and you're like, no, just kidding. We're gonna use the crit for that. And then I'm like, and then I wrote literally in my sticky notes that I like, for lack of a better word, live tweeted onto these sticky notes as I was reacting to it. I was like, oh my god, Bud's dead. And then the next one is like, all right, just kidding, not really. And then the next one immediately after that I was like, no, for real, he's dead this time. He's dead for real. Just crazy.
And something else that's exclusive to Patreon is that we actually did roll his epilogue resurrection as well, because the wish tag was torn. It wasn't guaranteed.
Oh, true.
But Elodie failed it twice. I was like, I gotta nerf it. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So not the resurrection roll, but getting the tag. So and I think you rolled an 11, right, Grace? Which it had to be above a 10.
Well, CJ rolled it. I was like,
I rolled an 11.
This is your roll. But it was 11, so it was just enough. Yeah,
barely was successful.
So that wasn't
Crazy.
just like us plugging in the story to resurrect Bud. That was an actual roll that was not off screen. It's in the post show for the finale on the Patreon.
I was in the dice telling the story. And
Yeah.
so elite.
Super cool.
Where do I had notes from here. So I guess kind of there were 2 or 3 phases scripted for Giratina's fight.
3.
Okay, 3. Yeah, because it was initial, and then I guess the second phase was kind of marked by, was that the enrage or the start of the bomb mechanic?
Honestly,
Sorry.
I don't remember.
This might be too mechanical to talk
No,
about. I have it
it's fine.
somewhere.
The first phase was just kind of vibes. I think the second phase was the introduction of the bomb. Yeah.
Okay, that would make sense to me.
Yeah. Which wasn't a bomb. It was a spooky wind that encompassed everything. But, it felt like
just colloquially
it was a big
referred
blast.
to as a bomb.
Yeah.
Crazy, by the way.
Yeah.
What was everybody's kind of first impressions of the following? I don't want to put too much on everybody's plate, but the Cyrus into Sam getting stabbed, and then the Distortion World into Giratina reveal. If you guys can give me notes on those things, starting with Melissa this time.
I mean, I just remember being like shook. I was like, oh, that's her dad. Like, she's seeing her dad. This is great. This is awesome. Kind of not awesome because he's kind of crazy, but like she kind of completed what she wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like her big goal, even though she was a big bad this whole time, was like to find her dad, not necessarily to like be bad and be evil. So I was like, great. She's getting her closure. And she stabbed her. She's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I was still rooting for Sam.
Yeah, that is the crazy thing, by the way, that you guys were still like pulling for her, even when it was revealed multiple times over that she was for sure the BBEG. And it was still like, no, that's our friend for sure. And it's like, well, she's been running things since you got here and organized the terrorist attack. That's just so funny to me. And it turned out, of course, obviously very well. But I found that comical. And then Melissa, thoughts on the Distortion World into Giratina reveal and how like maybe the first phase up until the big blast mechanic was introduced, up until that point. Did you have any thoughts that you can recall?
Like Richie dropped a Giratina on the table, like because again he had plushies for a lot of the different things, and he just drops him on the map, and we're like, whoa!
And I think it was described that the Giratina was canonically that size as well. Is that correct?
I mean, in all of its media portrayals, like when it's in its origin form, it is super large. So
Gotcha.
Whatever, it's cooler if it's big.
Yeah,
who cares?
It's very cool if it's big.
It was very cool.
Awesome. Any other thoughts on that before we move on to Jacob? Sweet. Jacob, what were your thoughts on you probably had the most skin in the game when it comes to the Sam into stabbing, and then which for those who have not heard, the ending of Cyrus's speech and interaction with Symmetra leads to him forming a spear out of the dark tendrils of shadows behind her and stabbing her through the chest. And Jacob, your character Schmidt, has some let's say complicated history with Symmetra. So I'd love to hear your perspective as a player watching that interaction between Symmetra and Cyrus unfold, and then watching the big boss fight reveal and that whole first fight where it was mostly kind of figuring out the terrain. How that, if you can recall, what for you?
I'm about to give you a really boring answer.
That's so fine.
So whenever I'm like in these situations, my brain's always thinking about like, what's the game plan? What are we doing next? So it was like, okay, she's been stabbed. And so my brain's going like, how are we going to move this body out of the way? How are we going to like get through like the logistics of on the board? Like, how do we move everything? How are we going to start this combat? How are we going to get through everything?
Gotcha.
So that's as far as like I didn't have any initial thoughts about like, oh god, my girlfriend question mark has been stabbed.
True.
My brain's always I'm very combat focused, so it's always how are we going to get through this situation first, figure everything out later.
Interesting. That's so funny. It makes sense. I can see that. It just I find it interesting that is your mindset. Yeah. And this is not a commentary. It's just interesting, genuinely, that is your mindset.
If the guy who's buddies with the devil stabs your situationship, you're probably just trying to figure out how to get out of that whole spot.
Yeah,
first.
generally, I would prefer to try to kill the devil before I want to figure out and make sure my situationship's okay.
Well, what are we? And it's like, are we really going to talk?
What are we? We are about to die.
My devil father just stabbed me.
My devil father stabbed
giant
me.
Satan dragon's coming up behind us.
My
and it's like,
baby boyfriend.
Hey, can we talk?
Hey, can we talk?
Hey,
That's awesome.
Would you still love me if I was an earthworm?
Yeah. Would you love me if I got stabbed in the chest by a shadow spear?
The answer is yes, apparently.
Yeah, so it would turn out.
I don't know. That's a deal breaker for me, bud. Yeah, that
that's a deal breaker for me.
That's a deal breaker. Gimli was
Red
out
flag.
in that moment. Yeah.
That's so
I'm
good.
married. Sorry.
Bummer, dude. Awesome.
Yeah, the symmetric Gimli tension, I think, leading up to that. I'm glad that was resolved.
I think it's not. It was kind of unspoken, but like I felt it. I understood.
No, I think.
I was like, Miss, I'm married. Like,
and Gemma was fully supportive.
Yeah,
she was.
She was in on it, from what I heard.
Yeah.
That's so good.
People. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That said, CJ, do you have any thoughts on those two notes? The stabbing. You kind of shared your thoughts on the stabbing into at least the stabbing part, but the reveal of Giratina, was that like?
I mean, once we're plopped into the distortion world, I'm like, where's Satan?
Yeah,
like, he's coming.
Sure.
The reveal with Cyrus being fully intertwined with him, and that's how he's sustaining himself. That was shocking to me. Yeah. Not the reveal of Giratina. I'm like, he's coming. It's inevitable. I played Platinum. I know what's going on. Like, he's gonna pop up, giant shadow monster. He's gonna be huge. But like, yeah, the whole like, oh, Cyrus is still like alive and kicking, and it's because he's intertwined with Giratina, and he doesn't need like sustenance to live in this world. I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, that's the baller thing about it.
Certainly. Awesome. Grace, any initial thoughts on phase 1 of the attack? And I guess I maybe should have specified that this was for everybody as well. So if we need to, we can circle back. Thoughts on those two big reveals and then that whole first phase of the fight up until the big blast attack, which I know is very specific, but I want to say in that time is just... Oh, it's the cake summoning for starters, which is pretty big. Followed by the weird typing mechanic being introduced. And then that's the big two is just like the mechanic of type matchups being different. And of course the Dark Dimension Happy Birthday Gregory Part 2 cake. So Grace, let me get your thoughts on those things. I know that's a lot. I've put a lot on your plate, so if you just, whatever you have to say about any and all of those things.
I've categorized them in my mind.
Perfect.
Not to echo everybody's thoughts, but I mean, for the initial reaction about Sam and everything, again, like kind of similar to what Jacob was talking about, like it was very like character thinking of like, oh, how am I going to like heal her now? Like that was my focus of like, how do I keep her from dying? And that was Elodie's focus, like the whole fight was just, how do I stop all of you from dying? Like that is my goal. Which I think was an interesting, I enjoyed playing that way, being that focus on that healing aspect. And then with the Giratina reveal, like CJ said, like it was like, we're in the distortion world, Giratina's coming, but the Cyrus thing being really cool, and then the moment with the plushie was also awesome. As far as the whole first phase of that fight, the cake I think was one of the last things we did before going to bed, which made us realize, oh, we need to go to bed because we're so delirious right now because we just completely popped off about the cake. But it was very fun in the moment to just, the ancestral play magic has been one of my favorite mechanics that Rich has come up with and that we've implemented. And so for that, I think that was probably the first role in the distortion world of me being like, I don't know what to do, my action economy, and somebody was like, oh, just ancestral play magic, and I was like, okay. And then that cake being so instrumental in like being able to heal us, and then also continuing the bit of stealing poor Gregory's birthday cake is so funny.
Shout out Gregory.
Shout out Gregory. So sorry
Yeah.
for stealing your cake again.
My goat, 2 cakes.
2 cakes, yeah, it's fine.
He's probably rich anyway. Did you see the
Yeah.
tiers on
To
those
get a-
cakes were insane?
to get a 10-tier
10-tier
cake,
cake.
yeah, come on.
Like I would get a
Like-
Walmart sheet cake for my birthday. I wasn't getting
Truly.
these like
Right?
high tier
Yeah.
stacked wedding cake energy. Like he has money.
Yeah, he's
Definitely
Yeah.
the
Cake for our
1%.
wedding.
Right. So we had cupcakes. Like we had for our own wedding, we had cupcakes, and Gregory's out here getting multi-tier cake twice.
For his birthday, yeah.
For his
Fucking
birthday.
Hey, Gregory.
He's one of those birth month people, for sure.
Probably.
Ew,
Yeah,
for sure.
Stolen, so he had
For
another
sure.
one to have a bigger, better birthday. But yeah,
Admittedly, I am a
Right.
birth week type of guy, so I'm part of the problem. However, I don't
Whoa.
celebrate it every day. I have the cake once, and I'm definitely not
Right.
replacing the cake if it gets stolen by
You can
Koopa.
be a birth month person. It's fine. It's just a problem when you make it everyone else's problem.
Precisely. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's
The only
important.
person you can, the only exception to that rule is if you have a partner. You can make it their problem, but no one else's. Cool. Yeah. No. Also, that cake was huge. Not just physically, because 10 tiers is a lot, but that was a crazy instrumental piece of equipment to have for the final battle. It was what was like 8d10 of healing, I want to say. No, not 8d10. That's stupid. That's stupid high.
It was a good
Right?
amount of healing for
was a
sure.
lot
for
of
healing.
healing.
Yeah.
And it was
per
very
tier.
convenient to have like an on the map spot where you could grab healing. It was just
Yeah.
really useful.
Yeah. Our little cake
Be dragging
Pokemon
people
Center.
over there and shoving it in
Yeah.
their mouths.
True.
A lot of the
Eat the
combat
cake!
did become focused in like
Live!
that corner, yeah.
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 Yeah, it ended up centralizing the combat to one spot, which was actually strategic
very
for when we
helpful.
used Deoxys and stuff too.
True.
It was just, it was cool. But
Again-
that also resulted in the legendary actions that hit area being super powerful because everyone was in
Yeah.
one spot.
Because everybody
were
was
getting
like,
fucked
yeah, congregating in the same 2 locations, really. Sweet. I would like to pivot now. This is again more of like a rich game design question. So I do apologize. I will have another question for the cast as well, but I need to get some info. What inspired the mechanics of the Giratina fight as a whole? Obviously, like it's pretty easy and standard to have like multi-hit attacks or like a ranged attack. But I'm specifically speaking about the like MMO ass, like the bean clones having their like bubbles. What was your inspiration, or did you just like raw dog it and make that up?
Yeah, my answer is mostly just vibes, unfortunately. I do have
That's
some
awesome.
concrete stuff I can give you.
Sure.
Back in like 2022, I was just like, I want to start thinking about what would make a cool final boss. I was watching a bunch of videos on YouTube of like game masters like Ginny D and MCDM and just like really talented GMs talking about what makes a cool boss encounter. I also was just looking for any and all inspiration, and I actually have a PDF downloaded that is someone else's Giratina boss fight. It was made by Lobstaris, created for the Pokemon prompt on the Discord of Many Things. So I'm going to give them full credit for that. I use that as a starting block. I was like, it's a lot more D&D focused than it is Pokemon focused, so I only took a few ideas, but I kept the Bite Wing Tail attack from it, making it a multi-attack there. Some of the legendary actions I kind of like reformed, but I included their Aura Sphere, their Ominous Wind, etc. So I took a lot from that sheet, and then just kind of changed it, made it different. I don't remember exactly what inspired the MMO style. Kill the thing, get a protective zone for the big bad attack. It was probably from Monster Hunter, honestly. They did the Final Fantasy crossover where I forget what that demon is called, but like it does a thing that blasts the whole field, but if you hide behind a specific rock, you won't take damage. It was kind of that idea. I liked the idea of a big blast attack that just screwed everyone over because it's the final boss, you have to do it. But it was also cool to like, do I focus damage the final boss, or do I take out this thing that can protect my party? Just decisions to make that isn't just swing at the boss, because I think, especially when it comes to like big story arc bosses that aren't just like little like mini arc, or like, you know, as opposed to like the very first boss being Pumpkin the Victory Bell, I wanted this fight to have some more goals that weren't just hit the guy. Right. And I thought that having an option where if you KO these things, you can survive the next big attack was a fun dynamic.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
No, very well, in fact.
Okay.
That is exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah,
I
do have to give credit to the person who made this sheet, because I did seriously reference it for a lot of stuff. So
it's a good sheet, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to review my notes also as well as listening. I'm sorry if I seem distracted. I tried to like note which Pokemon were knocked out at the times of each of these. I did end up getting lost in the sauce, but I know at least Soli was KO'd for that first Sentinel attack. And Cindy also, which is crazy.
Yeah. Classic Cindy.
Yeah, very on brand for her.
How many times did Cindy get knocked out during the finale?
Plenty.
I feel like so many.
At least 3, maybe 4. I should know because it's very fresh in my brain, but a lot. definitely over 3. So like even at one point, Grace, you're like, no, keeping Sam and Cindy alive is my full-time job.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm curious to know, and maybe this is like curse of knowledge territory where you can't unknow something, but players, what did you initially think? Did you guys think just like, oh my god, Rich is trying to TPK us, or did you have thoughts about like what the Sentinels were supposed to be? Did you have any interesting thoughts about like, oh, this is what Bean has been this whole time? Any thoughts on that initial like big reveal of the first not white mechanic per se, but we'll call it a white mechanic for nomenclature's sake. Any thoughts on that? And feel free to speak up in any order.
Yeah,
because I don't want to pigeonhole anybody into having to have the last word.
So yeah, the whole Bean reveal thing, I know for a fact that was like done after we developed what Bean was in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, oh, it'd be sick because he's a shadow monster. He
Sure.
fits into the space.
It
I was
ties
like,
up
that
the
was like,
loose
that's a
end.
smart way to use that. I like that.
Good.
That was a good idea. But I don't know. I think looking at the Sentinels, I'm like, these wouldn't be here for no reason. And I'm so MMO ARPG brained.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, we have to probably kill that and we won't die to the wind because that's every raid I've ever done.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess I thought outside of that. I didn't think he was trying to kill us. I was very insistent going into the weekend that I was going to die. And
Yes, you
before
were.
we even started playing. And that's just because I'm like, well, I'm the protector guy, and I always like to have the initial gut feeling and then just roll with it. And
Mhm.
they're just like, no, this is going to happen, and manifest it. And to my credit, I was almost right.
You
so,
were.
like, I was like, it's going to happen, guys. So I'm like, no, it can't happen. Like, stuff was just lining up. Like, it was just like, it's going to happen. And then they did everything in their power to stop it. So, like,
Yeah.
But no, I think Rich was just trying to create cool moments. And if it ended up being a total party kill, that was the dice deciding it wasn't Rich. Like,
Certainly.
at the end of the day. So Rich was trying to make a cool encounter and make sure there was pressure. And if the pressure was too much, we would have died. Honestly, I thought we were going to die if we didn't one-shot Groudon, we were cooked. Like,
Mhm.
it would have been total party kill. We would have been done because we barely made it out. And that was a thing that should have like knocked us down a peg before
Mhm.
going there. So it was like, I thought it was a very fair encounter individually for what it was. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't like he was out of his way to be like, no, I want the story to end where we all get sucked into hell and die. Like, it was just like, but hey, if that's what happens, like, who am I to judge? Like,
Yeah.
like whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Any other initial thoughts on when that attack was kind of revealed and the moments leading into it, and the Sentinels, of course? Any thoughts on that?
I had no
Just
idea.
scared.
Okay. Yeah, scared
Yeah.
is right. Scared is good.
'Cause, like, what was
I remember
crazy?
noting. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, what was crazy is like we had our full teams of Pokemon, but like once we found out that like only the alpha forms did significant damage, that's like the only ones we were using. But also like our health as people, players, was so hard. Like, yeah, we had a full team of Pokemon, but like keeping our players up was so hard.
Yeah.
Like, you can't send out new Pokemon if you're knocked out. If you're
Yeah.
rolling death saves, you can't send out new Pokemon.
That
So,
mattered
like,
for
That was-
everybody.
yeah.
It made it really hard when we only used very few Pokemon on our team.
Yeah.
Almost
I went
plus
in
that.
with a mentality of like, I have essentially like 6 D&D characters in my party, right? Like, I've got 6 fully fledged Pokemon. We're never gonna wipe to anything. But like, yeah, actually keeping the players' health was a really good way to balance that, I think.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like the health mattered for everybody other than Cindy for the first time maybe ever. Like,
Yeah.
of course, like Schmidt gets knocked out after the boat crash and is hospitalized. Does Elodie ever get KO'd off of health? I'm trying to think.
Probably the Gyarados encounter.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
yes, she
Got
does because she's
hyperbeamed.
underwater. She's underwater at that point.
Yeah.
And I don't think Gimli ever gets KO'd.
No, I got
a
down
beast.
to 2 HP at my lowest before the final encounter.
What a beast.
But I never got knocked down. Yeah.
Santis is like once per season minimum.
Yeah.
What's an episode, really?
To your credit, that was your fault most of the time.
Every like non-gym combat. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
It was
Ride
like
an
it wasn't like you got
Agron.
attacked by something. It was like, I'm gonna climb that Agron, and it's like that's an awful idea.
I'm going to summon
As a
these-
non-strike character, that's a terrible. With Con as your dump stat, that's a terrible
Yeah.
idea.
I'm gonna hear kitty these the snakes. Yeah.
And she's like, I can't believe that happened to me.
Nothing could go wrong at all.
We would have discussions afterwards. She's like, I can't believe that is what happened. I'm like, how could you not?
Guys, I can't believe
what
the
do you-
consequences of my own actions.
That's what I was
Every
like,
time.
you summoned that upon yourself.
It's a fun
I don't think
character.
that's how that
It's
went.
a
That's
great
great.
character.
That's just Melissa. That's not a character. That's why
Even
she
better.
was genuinely confused.
Even better.
She's like, the consequences of my own actions. There's no way. Yeah.
Accountability? Never.
Whoa.
So good.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Awesome. And then, all right. I think anything else before we kind of move on to, I guess third phase, which really isn't as long as any of the others. Any other thoughts on that?
There are two things that I think, due to just all the gaming and the way that I was improvising a lot of stuff, that I felt like I didn't get to explain as much as I wanted, which is fine because, again, I want to reinforce the idea that everyone's canon as they listens is the canon.
Mhm.
One of them is more mechanical, one of them is more story, but I don't want to suggest that anyone should like ascribe these to be like official how they feel about this encounter and the story overall. The mechanical one, I felt like I didn't provide enough context to the listeners that the fact that Walter dug the hole, put Sam in there, and body blocked it is like the main reason she didn't die. Because she was not subject to the big attacks and stuff. I think I might have said it once. I don't even know if it made it into the recording, so I didn't want to like lay that out. Like, Walter digging the hole and staying there is why Sam survived.
Oh wow.
The other thing that I want to express is that, like, I don't know, Sam was interesting. I didn't think the Quacko would spend so much time with her in the beginning, and then by episode 15, I was like, I gotta like develop her because like there's some stuff going on.
Yeah.
I wanted to express that when Sam saved Kaz from her own daddy's evil monster experimentation facility, that he promised like a life debt that he would do whatever it takes to do what like she wants because he is in debt to her.
Mhm.
And he became super intelligent, like more so than other Alakazam because of all the experiments that he had done and stuff. And Sam
Right.
told him that like, I want to see my dad again. So the idea, like, this was my intention, but I never explained it. So if listeners have a different idea of how the story went, that's fine. The idea was all the evil, fucked up shit that Sam was doing was under the mind control of Kaz. And he wasn't necessarily evil either. He just saw her leading NRG being the greatest chance at succeeding in getting her to see her father again. And that's why he was so beat up and like sad when he was like, I can't believe this is the end result of all this work that we did. So
Okay.
I wanted to express that because I think I've never expressed that to the listeners before,
Yes.
or even the
Actually,
players.
I did
So-
have that question written down, is asking
Yeah.
about that, because it's described that before everybody jumps in the toilet, that Kaz is levitating there and holding Sam, which, by the way, very cool reveal that she was the hooded figure all along. But like throws her in, and that she has been, or it's described somewhere that she's been under the control of Kaz the whole time. And I did have that exact question, which you just answered. So very cool. That's a really interesting way to write that as well. I think that's cool that
Some
he's
of the
like,
only actual writing in the campaign.
yeah, true. It's
so-
a testament to your ability to improv for sure.
Thanks.
But yeah, shout out to that entire. I guess it's cool to have the exclusive on that, because that is something I was so curious about. Because Kaz is like this character we get glimpses of. Like the first time we ever see him is when he shows up and saves Sam post headshot. And then like the second time we see him is pretty much the finale.
He showed up to Dewford to interrupt with the Joel TikTok because, again, in his mind, this would make it less easy for Sam to see her father. So that's why he showed up and was like, "Stop what you're doing."
Oh wait, that was Kaz?
Yeah.
I thought it was just an Abra. That rocks.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I just stuttered really bad. That's crazy.
No, that's fine.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Again,
Very
if your
interesting.
canon was that Sam was doing evil things because she's evil, that's totally fair and legit. Because I did not do a good job of expressing that the cause was helping her do evil things so that she could see her dad.
Okay. All right.
A bit of
I
a
guess-
derail, more plot than it was mechanics like we were talking about. But
No, that's okay. It's still very valuable to have and to hear about. Because ultimately, like, I haven't done a great job of expressing this, but this is more just to like hear you guys' thoughts on this before we move on to, and I know this is kind of long, so if we need to cut off sooner than anticipated, that's fine. But I know we wanted to talk a little bit about something that you guys have kind of alluded to being campaign 2, which we will talk about very, very shortly. As soon as we kind of wrap up, I just wanted to close out with phase 3 of the fight, and then the epilogues and closing remarks from the campaign. So does anybody have anything more to say about phase 3, where, and this is for clarity and posterity, this is, I think, when everybody has their big hero moments, which is how I described the things that were very like on brand for characters, right? So for Gimli, for instance, his hero moment was kind of wrapped up in Bud's death and Bud tanking a bunch of hits in order that Ellie would have her hero moment, which was at least for me, the description of Cabbage using the full action for an ancestral Fey magic to turn back the previous turn of initiative.
Oh, it's crazy.
Which is
That was so good.
bonkers. The odds, by the way, of that being the random roll prior to that, so that it could be a held action the following turn, is cosmically funny. Schmidt's hero moment being described as I have it written here as the Giga crit in all caps, which is literally like the Alpha Quacko reveal into just the biggest attack ever on Tina. And then, of course, Cindy's huge hero moment being just the giant fuck off laser beam into Giratina at the very conclusion of the campaign. And those are all experienced in, I guess the first couple are in phase 2, but thoughts on those hero moments, or if you have a different hero moment for your character, thoughts on those and that third phase before we move on to kind of the closing remarks of the campaign, the epilogues and things like that. We'll start with, if anybody has anything they want to speak up first, by all means, but otherwise we can start with Melissa.
I mean, I was gonna say like that big moment at the end. Like I'm very much the like, if it doesn't do damage, I don't want it. But I was also like, well, I need to preserve my health because Cindy especially, like, she's gonna die. So like I've had the passive that I could exchange health for damage, like additional damage dice for like since level 9, I think is when I got it.
Earlier, even maybe. No, yeah, that was
level 9 and
Draconids,
above.
yeah.
all of the
Something
HP
like that.
exchange abilities were with the Draconids. So yeah, that was
Draconids, yeah.
pretty.
So whenever that was, so I've had that ability and just never used it, and it was like, basically everybody's like, Melissa, if you do not kill Giratina right now, we all die. I'm like, okay, so let me full send. Let me use max HP without knocking out solely, which was like, isn't it like 37 dice?
You rolled a lot of dice.
There's a lot of dice.
And it's funny that we were still scared about it.
You're like, well, what's the odds that we
chance.
fail? What is the odds?
There was a chance.
There was a chance.
37 ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could
If
have
Giratina
happened.
had crit that save,
Yeah,
you
that
guys were
too.
just cooked.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say that is probably Cindy's hero moment in that final battle, or is there another one that maybe I'm missing?
I think so. I think that was a big moment for Cindy. If I had to pick another moment that like wasn't just finale, it would probably be when she like literally demolishes her parents, even using fire types, which are technically weak against her parents' water types.
Yeah.
Like just blasting them out of the water, literally.
True.
Like just coming in hot, trying to take them out, but then still being like, I don't want them to die. I guess I gotta save them. Like the whole thing.
I loved the full circle from the session 0 where Melissa was like, "Yeah, Cindy's parents really suck." And then we're like, "Okay," we sat on that for 3.5 years, and then we meet them, and all the players and the listeners are like, "Wow, they really suck."
Yeah, they suck real
They
bad.
suck.
Yeah. That was fun, and then having them get blasted by Cindy is really great, and then taking
Iconic,
Kyogre from them, and it was just great. It's great.
Yeah. Phenomenal. I guess in reverse order, Jacob, you're next. For posterity, the hero moment that I described was the Giga Crit on Tina. Do you have thoughts on phase 3 and that moment? Do you have another moment that you want to describe that you think was really pivotal for Schmidt in that combat?
That was the big one. That was really satisfying too. Like as the crit guy getting the big crit. And that wasn't like a using a passive to get a crit. That was a natural 20 on the die.
Yeah.
And I'd borrowed some die from Grace because I didn't own any at the time. I have a ton of dice now.
Nice.
But I'd had her Espeon dice, and so it had like the little Espeon head. Whenever I rolled that crit, it was very fun.
Yeah.
That and I'd like to add Walter digging the hole, which is like I talked about this a little bit when we did our Q&A. That one right there. Yeah, that's the one.
Nice. That's really pretty.
Oh,
wait, that
that's so good.
rocks. That's so good.
But just like over the course of the campaign, Walter, not only being like the logo, the Dunsparce of Dunsparce and Drampa, but just like mechanically, like that was a very fun toolkit to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like the runaway ability, being able to dig holes. Like the later back half of the campaign, like half the time Schmidt's in a hole that Walter dug, and that's like his protection.
I remember when you first caught.
It's funny that like the bird guy is like, all right, I have to go underground. That's my
true. Yeah.
Return to Earth.
Yeah.
I remember when Walter was first captured by Schmidt, I was like, oh, this is funny. Like he probably won't come back up. This will be like what's his name?
Blueberry?
Like Lebowski.
Blueberry.
Who never shows up.
Lebowski. The mythos around Lebowski is so funny to me that it's just like I was like, honestly, I don't know what to do with this kid. He kind of sucks. And I was just, when everyone's like, oh, but where's Lebowski? Bring him back. I'm like, what? Bring him back. He was never a guy.
Yeah, it's funny to me that Walter was like the inverse of that, where it's like, oh, I thought this was a funny meme, and then he's like, no, actually, the Dunsparce is broken, and we will be using this very much.
Digging holes is broken.
True.
I've been saying it for years.
It's also interesting that the stealth character is like, no, here's another place to hide. That's really important.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But also, as Richie mentioned, like using that hole and then Walter like face tanking the bomb hits.
True. What a beast.
Yeah, I didn't express how important that was in the session.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's just it was a very good full circle moment for Schmidt in combat and in like RP.
Yeah. If I can interject real quick before we move on to CJ, your thoughts on this question. This is maybe just a point of confusion, and it could be just me missing, because as I have discovered through y'all's Easter eggs and the patron torture, I'm also not very perceptive. But the link between Giratina and Symmetra, right? There's a point where Giratina uses a legendary resistance to shake off a sleep from one of the boons, and then it's revealed that Sam in that moment exhales deeply as though she had just received the status condition of sleep that should have gone to Giratina. Was that like an unspoken mechanic that maybe, or was I just maybe not paying attention? Do you remember?
You're so close. It was Giratina's thing was for each. It was either every time a character made a death save, that's what it was. Whenever a character made a death save, he gained a legendary resistance.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I knew that like when folks were knocked out, or especially when they were like, when in the case of Bud, when they died, like he got buffs from that. I just wasn't sure if that was that or like a different fucked up third thing.
No,
okay.
That was basically it. That was also something
usually
I
the
didn't.
Fucked up third thing.
True.
That was also something I didn't describe super
And I've
clearly,
always
but
said
yeah.
that.
It was cool to make the Satan Ghost final boss like benefit from death and death saves and getting knocked out.
Yeah.
So
that could have gotten really scary so fast, by the way. But...
yeah, I realized that after the fact that if the party didn't do as well as they did, it would have ramped out of control for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely snowbally.
Yeah,
it was cool though.
It's easy to fix though. You can put a cap on it.
Yeah.
You didn't even know.
It put the stakes really, really well in perspective too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. CJ, what are your thoughts on, like I've said, what I've described as your hero moment and that phase 3 of combat altogether? Those two things.
Tanking hits is my nature as a D&D player. Like that's what we do.
For sure.
So like if it wrapped up that way, I was like, if I didn't die, Bud dying was like, oh yeah, like this just makes sense.
Mhm.
If someone had to go and get targeted, I was like, thank God it's me or Bud. Like we have to tank these hits or we're all screwed. So like we need this. Like I'm there to sponge hits. So it just made sense and it worked out very well, even despite the protests of my party trying to protect me at all costs to make sure I didn't die. And then as a result, Bud dying. It was just like, no, it was perfect. It's exactly as it needed to be.
Mm-hmm. To that note, Jacob, did Schmidt have any thoughts having the most beef probably with Bud as a character? Did Schmidt have any thoughts when Bud died?
Nah. I think Schmidt had come around on Bud a long time ago.
Okay.
Especially around
Bud
the
restored
evolution.
YouTube.
Well,
Right?
when he evolved, he actually just talked like a person and didn't have ADHD,
Not a
like
freak.
5-year-old child speak. So
To be clear, like as a person, I fucking loved Bud.
Yeah.
Like the Toad School Bud running around.
Awesome.
Oh boy, I can't wait to meet people. Blah, 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 blah.
yeah, we'd have all these conversations. It's like, oh yeah, cool, man.
There's a line, I have it written down somewhere, where there's a delivery, Rich, that you do for Bud where he says, I think it's he says, don't mind if I do.
Yeah.
And on something, I'm trying to find the sticky note where he says it, because I have like a timestamp and episode number, where he says like something to the tune of like, oh, don't mind if I do. And it is I can't stop laughing when I hear it.
It's a new vocal stim.
Yeah, no, don't mind if I do. Oh, it's episode 82 at around an hour and a half. So
Okay, good to know.
Well, time to look that up.
It's really good. I want to say
Thank you for giving me the timestamp for TikTok.
No problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went in the weeds for this. I did. There's a lot of time. I'm surrounded. It looks like that image of the guy with like the red string on the board.
Oh,
but
yeah.
on my
yeah.
desk.
The Pepe Silva.
That's so
If
funny.
you ever want to see TikToks of those, send me those timestamps. I'll do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a lot of sticky notes.
That's just me. I want a sweet treat. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah. Great delivery. But that's cool insight into knowing if Schmidt as a character had any thoughts on that. It's cool to know that he came around on Bud, because that's a fun dynamic early on pre-evolution, and then that being resolved is neat too. CJ, any more thoughts on Phase 3 and Hero Moment prior to moving on to Grace?
I don't think so. No.
Cool. All right, Grace, you're up. Hero Moment and Phase 3 altogether.
Yeah. No, I definitely think the time shenanigans with the ancestral flame magic, that was really cool to logic that out and figure out, hey, I can use this to just delete Giratina's turn and hopefully save everybody in the process for at least another turn. I think there's a lot about like the ancestral flame magic that we kind of were discussing of like how cool was it that we rolled the cake, which was so instrumental in healing, and then also like the time reversal mechanic as well. I think especially because there were 2 rolls that I didn't make that I technically could have done with Cabbage to like if I'd taken a full action to roll specifically, being 69, which I really, really wanted to do, and I'm glad that I didn't, because that ended up just being that it would turn Cabbage into a Frigibax, which would not have been good.
Dang.
So I'm glad I didn't do that. And then also 100, which if I can say, we do have the full Ancestral Fey Magic table on the Patreon, so please subscribe if you want to see it. But if I'm allowed to reveal that 100 was summoning Xerneas, and Xerneas would have like healed everybody all up to whole, and it would have been like a full heal for everybody, which definitely would have turned the whole fight around, and it wouldn't have been an issue anymore. But I'm honestly really glad that I rolled the dice, and I was just like, let's just see what happens, because again, the 2 that we ended up getting, very funny, very instrumental, and very helpful, and helped us solve a problem in what I thought was a much more interesting way. And made it really come down to the wire, which was really fun to play. But yeah, the Ancestral Magic was really cool.
You've also just revealed something that I was not aware of prior, is that you were able to, I knew you would be able to spend an action to choose a specific number. I was not aware, however, it could be a number that you hadn't done yet.
At least that was my interpretation.
Yeah, did I understand that correctly?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's so
it's
funny.
risky to do that, because then you spend a whole action.
Exactly, because I would have known.
Your action. Yeah.
I could have made 100 suck, you know, but
True.
I was like, it's 100, it's got to be cool. But we didn't know that, so.
Yeah,
totally agree with that. I do actually have a secondary hero moment for Elodie that I thought of, and Grace, I want to know if you can spot it if you can think of it off the top of your head. If not, I'll just reveal it, but that's okay if you have anything.
I feel like there is something I'm forgetting. I feel like you're right, because I feel like there was some turn, I feel like, where like I just healed a whole bunch of stuff. It was probably something with Cabbage's Light of Ruin.
There is exactly, I think,
imagine.
2 turns prior to the big I think it might actually be the turn where you use a bonus action to AFM for the rewind. I think the turn, your main action during that turn or the turn prior, you relocate with Keyline, the Iron Valiant, to thread the absolute needle on healing damn near everybody, including some of the baddies, to use Rich's word, but it ended up being very, very important to have everybody up and healed, because like it was a lot of numbers. So that is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it was a big heal.
Yeah, absolutely. Light of Ruin was so cool to have been something that I got through the Gather Your Buddies. So to be able to just heal a bunch was great. That's all I
Crazy
wanted
move.
to keep everybody alive.
It did well. It worked out. Even to the end. There's like that joke that that necromancers are just healers, but they're really, really late. And you ended up being up being both of those.
Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. So let's, in that case, any final thoughts on phase 3 hero moments, or the final, like the actual defeat of Giratina before we move on, from anybody, Rich, yourself included?
I have 2 things real quick, which one is just being like, I don't know if I'm just cold in here, but while we were talking about this, I was getting chills. I loved this whole finale so much. It was really fun. But all of those hero moments, truly so cool. And my other being with the bomb mechanic, I think you'll probably hear like Jacob and I were like complaining a lot during the recording of like, this is so crazy. Like, what are we gonna do? We can't even do anything between when the bomb starts and when it goes off. But that's definitely not like an actual like complaint. Like that was obviously just how the mechanic worked, and it was really cool. And like it ended up being really, really stressful, which to me is something that makes it more fun. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that like we were complaining about it in the moment, but that's just because it was difficult, right?
Yeah,
so
it was hard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, certainly. Cool. Well, with that said, I'd like to, I know we're kind of approaching 2 hours. What's everybody's time frame look like? Because I don't want to hold anybody super, super late. Are we all good?
It's
Does everybody
Saturday.
have to go?
I'm chilling.
Yeah, it's Saturday night,
good.
baby.
Outstanding. Jacob, do you have anything?
No.
Okay, awesome.
I'm off till Wednesday. So.
Let's go. All right, and that's then I'm not gonna feel shame for keeping you guys. Let's move on to the closing of the series. What we said, epilogues, right? These hit. First of all, I've said this, Rich, to you before multiple times. The music hits so hard.
It does, yeah. It goes crazy.
In all of these, like in every respect, right? I think to the fade in of the interstitial for Giratina's Distortion World theme when the second map is revealed at the end of part 1. I think of the Dunsparce Drampa theme playing as Bud is about to pass. I think of all of these things, and then like that piano arrangement. It's Little Root Town, right?
It's Little Root, yeah.
That arrangement had me so fucked up in the club.
It's already just an incredible piece of music, and I was like, how do I make it more emotional? Solo piano.
So good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Highlighting all of these, and even, I don't know if this was intentional, or even if you guys actually experienced this, but there was a felt shakiness in each player's voice as they read their epilogue script. And I don't know if that is genuine, or if we all maybe like listened and like read into it per se, but it felt present.
Yeah, we all wrote them individually. So they were like very like heartfelt, like
very
as
personal.
We closed out everything very personal.
You're writing the eulogy for your own character that you spent 4 years with. You know, like that's crazy. Like that's yeah.
I'm getting like, I'm feeling like the heaviness of it, even just as I'm thinking about it. It's so good. I want to also highlight how interesting it is and how fitting each ending is for each character, right? So I have another note. I look like a crazy person going through here. So I'll start with Schmidt's epilogue specifically, right? Because it's the one that has like maybe the least fanfare, but definitely still a lot going on, right? is
Schmidt's epilogue was 48 seconds.
Yeah.
That was the length of the recording that I sent Kira, was 48 seconds.
That's awesome. Yeah, Schmidt releases Mewtwo and then crushes the Master Ball underfoot, and then is never heard from again after getting gets Sam out of prison, and then they're never heard from again. That's like, did I miss any part of that?
No, that's it.
Okay,
We did mention
get a
yeah, go for it. Go for it.
We did a Patreon Q&A for a post finale,
Mhm.
and someone mentioned that I did not mention Quacko in the finale.
Which was really funny.
Yeah.
And they were like, what
Quacko and
happened to
Schmidt are
Quacko?
like,
What? Wait, he left
synonymous,
Quacko!
so if Schmidt goes, Quacko goes with him.
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was always interested to hear how Schmidt's fate would be, especially after the vision of him like climbing the mountain with like a Hoennian Surfetched, as was described. I want to say,
Was that a thing?
yeah, there's a description of a vision
it was
he gets.
his dream. It was just like a different Quacko.
I did not imply an evolution, because I just want to clear that up, because we got in comments, it's like, Quacko got so many crits in this fight, why didn't he evolve?
Oh, got you.
That's
It
not-
was
yeah,
maybe
he
just
can't.
maybe it was just described in a way that made it look like a Surfetched. But it definitely, there was a description of like Schmidt climbing a mountain with definitely like a stronger
it
looking
was a
crazy.
Sky
It was-
Tower.
Oh, was it
I-
Sky Tower?
It was
Was
supposed to
it?
be Sky Tower, and it was supposed to be an enhanced leak, which I knew was coming, because
Gotcha.
we hadn't gotten there quite yet, but I did want to plant that, because we've discussed this. I don't want to get too far into this, but we discussed this a lot, that like Farfetch'd as a single stage mon, great in the beginning of the campaign and falls off, but being the starter, I wanted to keep giving him small gifts. While his HP stayed low, I wanted him to crit more, deal more damage, etc. So I knew I wanted to give him a new leak, and
Yeah.
that's what that was supposed to. Making visions and prophecies, I honestly don't recommend it. I think out of the 3 times I tried it in the campaign, it like didn't really pan out. It didn't give all the flavor that you think it does in your mind when you think of it. But it was still fun. So
Yeah.
sorry, carry on.
No, I just thought it was cool. His fate is always interesting, and it's so fitting that it's left kind of like not ambiguous, because it's very clear what he does, but like after that, there's still a huge amount of mystery, which is interesting. And also, I have a note here. In episode 89, at the around 59 minutes, there's somebody asks him, says, "What are you supposed to do? Hide from the police from the rest of your life?" And Schmidt responds, "Doesn't seem too bad."
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
I'd been sitting on that idea of Schmidt like going on the run with Symmetra from around Dewford.
Oh,
80
that's so cool.
episode 89 predicts actually a lot of stuff, because I think that's where the last quote came from too. No, that's a totally different thing. That's Bud. Episode 89 has a lot of really interesting predictions in it. It predicts a bunch of legendaries in the finale, including Hoopa and Deoxys. Big recommend re-listening to 89, or honestly like 89 is the one with like a lot of really interesting predictions, which I
had
just
no
think was
idea.
clever.
That's cool.
It's funny because you described like prophecies and stuff as not being like all like that great from your perspective, but there's so many things that maybe aren't necessarily prescribed as prophecies that end up being so in a very serendipitous way that I think is funny that they turned out that way, but also really cool as a listener. Cool. Moving from there, I would like to move on. Cindy, let's talk about, sorry, I don't want to name you as your character. Melissa, let's talk about Cindy's epilogue. Because please correct me if I'm mistaken or forgot anything. Cindy goes on to not be able to confirm or deny what happens to her parents, proceeds to take ownership and stewardship of Kyogre and release it annually so that Archie can wrestle it in a time period that is won't cause too much damage for the Hoenn region, and also goes on to climb the rungs of previously Connor's gym, Fire-type gym, where she becomes the gym leader, and she proves to be a huge challenge. What do you have? I have thoughts that I would like to share on this, but I want to know if there's anything that you want to add to that, or maybe not necessarily canon things you want to add to that, but like your takes on it. Anything else that I might have missed before I have a thought or two.
So something I will say is like we've had like people with like fan theories, which is fine. We love the fans, but like everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, Schmidt killed Cindy's parents." I don't,
I don't know why.
What?
Interesting.
That was not the intention.
One person said it in the Discord, and then everybody's like, "Yeah, this is the fan theory. Schmidt killed Cindy's parents." And I'm
We're
like,
like,
do it. It's like,
I was like, she is more than capable of murder.
As if Cindy
on the run.
couldn't or wouldn't
Yeah.
want
commit
to.
more crimes.
Yeah.
Like Schmidt's committing more crimes because he's on the run anyway. It's like
Right.
The intention that I tried to leave ambiguous is Cindy made them go missing and buried them in the berry farm. That was the unspoken.
Yeah,
what happened.
I still thought it was pretty on the nose.
Yeah. I think you describe it in a post show immediately following the finale when you're talking about writing your epilogues. But I don't know if you ever say it explicitly. Definitely not on like free feeds, but I think it came across very much that like Cindy killed her parents and fertilized the farm.
Good.
It definitely came
her
across
exact
like
words
that.
were, "Cindy's parents go missing, and the berry farms look better than ever." Like,
It's like,
Yeah.
it was. It's pretty obvious.
Another piece of that is like Cindy restored the grass plate in the basement of the berry farm as well.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think that ever came up. I think that was something like if we kept the plates, she definitely would have done that.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's certainly not described, but that is cool to know. That's interesting lore. Anything else to add? Because I do have notes that I would like to share with that. I think it is so. I don't want to. No, I'm cool sounding corny because it's cool to enjoy things. It is maybe beautiful is the good word for it. That Cindy has this arc of being like, she's described initially in the campaign as like a very weak trainer. Has lost like every battle she's been through. Has like not done any big combat. Is like, no, I'm totally taking on the gym. And I think you ask Cindy asks her grandparents for money, and or they're like, there's a conversation had where Cindy is like reporting on how her battling has been going. And she's like, nope, it's been great. And then like super lying. And she like rolls a fine deception. So like she gets away with it. But to go from that point in her journey to the just like triumphant champion, not even in just like the metaphysical sense in that she like blows up Giratina, the devil from the Bible, but like also is revered by her peers and people who would otherwise be superior to her through like age or experience or whatever, but like goes on to, maybe it's my headcanon that she's still like fairly young as she becomes a gym leader, perhaps younger than other gym leaders. That could be totally like headcanon, but in my head it reads that way, perhaps, that she's still very young when she becomes gym leader. And that imagery is really, really profound. And it's cool to think that she goes on this journey from like super weak to being strong and mature, both metaphysically and like her journey with herself, but also she's got like stats that show off like I'm strong. So I thought that was really, really cool and beautiful. Thoughts? I don't know.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, it's hard to transition out of that because it's literally just me like gushing about how cool I think it is, but I would be remiss to not share that with you guys because I think it's so cool, and it's a part of what makes every part of Cindy's journey prior to that so special. And every character has this. I wanted to point that out as well.
Because part of Cindy being like has never won any battles is like Richie at the beginning of the campaign is like your partner Pokemon, like you're level 1. It's like you need to have a reason for being level 1. It's like, well, Cindy spent the last 4 years traveling around trying to do her big Pokemon journey at like she started at 10 on her like big Pokemon journey like you do in the game.
Sure.
It's like, well then how would in 4 years she still be at level 1? She didn't win a single battle. She is just vibing around the world trying to fit like, I'll try this one. Just gets demolished at every opportunity. So it's like, that's how she's level 1 at the start of the campaign.
That's really cool justification. I like that. Yeah. So interesting. All right. Moving on. I'm trying to think of order because these two are obviously like intertwined. But Grace, let's talk first about Elodie's epilogue. So the description that, as far as I can recall, it's still fairly fresh. She moves on from her baking job in Kalos to become a member of the International Police, where her experience with Hoopa portals and travel across countries and like espionage type beat aids her in being an international super spy. She continues to be assigned to the case of Schmidt and Symmetra, and mysteriously is unable to track them down. And then, what am I missing? Anything else from that other than the part that we'll talk about with Gimli's epilogue?
Yeah, that's most of it. I think the only other thing I added in this was kind of an afterthought as I was writing it. I was like, oh wait, remember when the Whisk Takers were a thing and my Pokemon were in a band? So I added in that they might be continuing to make music and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just kind of for fun.
Yeah. No, I still really liked that. Like that plays up to Elodie as a character. Like the descriptors for each player or each character changes throughout the three different intros that Dunsparce and Drampa has, right? And the final one is Elodie is described as a fun-loving baker with a whimsical heart, which is a change on her original descriptor being just like I think it was like a fun-loving baker from Kalos, and the shift there is pertinent in that like it does become that Elodie is embodying this whimsy associated with the fairy type, right? And that they're not all just like, oh, like dainty and fun and like magical, but sometimes they're just like gremlins, right? And so like I think the Whisk Takers plays that up really, really well. And it's a mechanic that it was really cool when it first came out. I missed it a little bit in final like battles, but there was also no way that was happening. That would just been so much.
Yeah, to get everybody together would have been difficult.
Very cool, by the way. It's also hilarious that she's like, I'm a cop, but also a gremlin. Like that is so the dichotomy, that's really funny to me. Maybe that's just me, but I think it's really funny. Do you have anything else to add? Maybe not necessarily canon, but things you have to say about your epilogue or about Elodie's epilogue that maybe you feel about them, or you think other people might gain something from hearing from your mouth.
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I think when I was thinking about who Elodie would be after the campaign, I think the major thing was just like she can't go back to just being a baker.
Right.
Like she's changed so much. And that was also something I forgot to mention about her final outfit design, is that some of my initial ideas were like incorporating an apron to call back to her original outfit or being cake inspired or something. And then I was like, no, like she's not a baker anymore. She's been to the frickin' moon. Like that's not part of her design anymore. Like as much as she still does enjoy baking, like that's not who she is anymore. I think it's something that I settled on. The international police idea I just stumbled upon, and I was like, wait, that's perfect, because the Hoopa ring and the police thing. So I'm glad that was something that I saw as an option for her, and that was settled on. And also kind of funny to something that you mentioned earlier of the idea of like things that weren't intentioned to be foreshadowed early on, of like one of the first things that Cabbage got from a store was that she bought the little spy set.
Yeah, the spy kit.
Her little spy kit.
So
Which now have graduated to actual super spy is kind of fun.
And also all the men in her life being cops. or
right,
Schmidt.
Yeah.
Or Schmidt or Ghibli.
Yeah, and though it's also something, and I hope similar to Cindy's epilogue is hopefully understood, is that she's not actually looking for Schmidt. In any
That's
case,
very clear.
yeah, she's okay, good. Yeah, she doesn't want him to be caught. But yeah, I think it's pertinent that I think I'm similar into Elodie in some ways, in that I don't always let sleeping dogs lie. I'll leave that there.
There you go. All right. And then, speaking of sleeping dogs lying, CJ, I would love to talk about Ghibli's epilogue.
Sick segue.
Yeah, thank you. So, to reiterate, of course, Ghibli's epilogue, he and his family, yours is, I think, the longest of the four.
It is the longest, yeah.
Because there's descriptors for like Gemma, Gimli's wife, as well as Gimli, his son. where they each have their own leg of the dojo, the family dojo that they open up, where originally the plan for Gimli is to just go back to home and like live a simple life, but adventure keeps calling to him in the ways that people keep trying to train under him and learn from him, where this mantra returns to him of "you're never too old to be an adventurer" kind of comes back to him, and not haunts per se, but certainly rears its head through various influences, being his wife, his his son, his the people around him. And he opens this dojo where people come to train and be the best at what they can be, and really embody that adventurer spirit. Did I miss anything with that other than the pertinent bud information?
Yeah, other than the part 2, I just like, I always envisioned him, obviously he's just like, he's like true father figure of like, this guy just works and that's like his entire personality, so to be thrusted into this world and be like, oh, I've done a lot now, like I should stop, and then he's like, but I can't, like what else am I gonna do with my time? I'm not gonna just sit around, and then it just kind of embodies the whole thing. And for me, feeling like I have to tell the story of a family just made this like naturally be more like, everyone else they had to tell the story of like themselves. And I was like, well, I have like other people that were involved in this whole process that have to also be talked about in some capacity. So it just ended up making the story like kind of just keep growing as I wrote it. So I was like, oh yeah, like I need to talk about Gemma, I need to talk about Gimli, I need to make sure that they're all included in that, because that was what the whole thing was about to begin with. Yeah. So like it just needed to be done.
You certainly have the most people to describe in Gimli's epilogue, and it's fitting too, because as I mentioned when talking about Elodie's change over time, right? Gimli's descriptors throughout the various introductions to the series change, right? At first, I believe the first main change is he is a burly miner from Sinnoh seeking searching for his lost son. And then in the second big intro change, it is amended to say, I forget what the initial part is, but a man from Sinnoh, or like I think an honorable father seeking to reunite his family. And that's a big change. And I think that being like evident through even the epilogue, right? Being such a cool and interesting change and coming to fruition in the event of like Gimli succeeds in reuniting his family, not just finding his son, but also like getting the knowledge that his wife has been taken in by energy and proceeding to rescue her from their clutches, right? That comes in a way that is so perfect, because like I know I had a lot to say about specifically Cindy's epilogue being like this huge fulfillment of her character arc, but in a slightly different way, Gimli's is the same, right? Because that is just like, I'm trying to think of the words to say this. Not his stakes are lower, but his stakes are less grandiose and glamorous. It is still with the same amount of gusto and intrigue that he is seeking to reunite his family, that you have all these other massive objectives from characters in the game. And so him reuniting his family is just as important as like Cindy getting stronger, or Schmidt like escaping the cops for the rest of his life. So I definitely value that, and I think it's really equally beautiful that he's able to like get his family together, and further to that point, really reunite his family when along comes Elodie with the broken wish tag to revive his lost family member, Bud. So sorry, I've spoken a lot, and I don't want to detract from anything you guys have to say about that. Before we get into like the Bud resurrection, do we have anything else you guys want to add to that? No? Okay. So moving swiftly on then, for the folks, of course, who haven't listened, the following things, and we've spoken about it for a second now, is that Elodie arrives at the dojo at Gimli's family's dojo with her ripped Jirachi wish tag, which she acquired on the moon, and grants the wish to Gimli to resurrect Bud the Toadscruel. And sorry, I'm choking up a little bit because like it's so good. And of course the wish is on a roll, and it's a successful roll. He gets an 11, which is just enough to meet the DC where Bud is resurrected, and the dialogue between Rich as Bud being like, "Oh, what happened?" And then Gimli saying, "We're back," and then like just that closing dialogue of "We're home, Bud. We're home." That shit gets me every time. Every time. It's disgusting. I can't believe you guys would do that to me. It's so good. So with that said, sorry, I know I've drawn this out maybe a little too long. But Grace and CJ, do you guys have anything else you'd like to add to that last bit of epilogue before we defer to Rich for his thoughts and then move on to another very exciting topic before we wrap this up?
I'm glad the last line hit because I wrote that whole thing, so I was just like, I was like, this might work out.
No, that shit was good.
Yeah,
CJ wrote that whole epilogue, like he wrote mine,
that was all me at the end.
Rich's dialogue.
Nice.
It was very good. Yeah,
so good. Cool.
Nice.
That said, Rich, did your players surprise you with their epilogues?
Yeah, definitely. I did not see the International Super Spy thing happening.
Mm.
I thought that was so funny and appropriate.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
Just from like the third episode, or even the second. No, it was the third. The spy kit being there was just off the dome. I was like, "Fuck, what's something funny that would like be in there?" I was thinking about like Scholastic book fairs for some reason. I was like, "Yeah, they have like goofy ass like magic sets and spy sets and stuff," and then that being the crux to the end of the story. Also, just tying in like, I really adore Elodie's growth from, as you said, absorbing the fairy type and like the more mischievous part of it. I remember starting around the Rustboro Gym Challenge, I was like, why is she hitting Swampert to get Torrents? That was like weird. And then she impersonates Hoennian royalty, and I'm like, this is it. Like, she's a fairy trainer. And like the cool part of the fairy side, that's like your impidimps that are like, like fuck you, and like that's so good.
Yeah.
Schmidt's was like perfect. I didn't know what he was going to do, but I was like, yeah, that's like what Schmidt would do. All of the late game Schmidt decisions are like so obvious in hindsight, even though I didn't predict them. And CJ's and Melissa's for Gimli and Cindy, great. I don't know how else. It was really fun as like the final assignment for 4 years of improv to write something, for each of the players to write their own thing, and I thought they were written really well. That was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful times.
Yeah.
I actually have another question. I think what you said about Schmidt's epilogue and all of his decisions making perfect sense in retrospect was really funny, because when I think about it, I for a while had like very much like the mindset of like, dude, Schmidt has had so many opportunities to just get with so many women. He chooses not to. And it's because this whole time he's maybe not simping. Maybe it is simping for Symmetra, for Sam. But it's so funny to me that like he's like, Winona, nah. Calvin's mom, even though it would do out nuclear psychic damage to Calvin, years of therapy. Like, nah, I'm good. There's only one woman in my heart, and it's a super villain.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, true, but like Winona's always
there
going to be there, right?
True.
The reason they're called baddies.
Right. Winona's a busy woman.
Get out of here.
We should have done Schmidt's epilogue
it.
last, and that should have been the last line of the campaign, actually.
True.
That's
Just
why they're called baddies.
Winona and Calvin's mom. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, notes for campaign 2. Grace, write this down.
Yeah. More baddies.
Yes,
More
we need
baddies.
more baddies.
Yeah.
It's so funny. You can tell, I forget which episode it was, but the episode that Kira called me out and was like, baddies is a weird thing to say because that's like hot people. You can tell that there's a whole episode of combat where I don't say it because I'm embarrassed.
That's so funny.
What
What
if
if
they're
they're all hot?
conscious about it?
Yeah.
Like we're playing Theater of the Mind here. They're all hot.
That's right before
that's
the
true.
Regirock fight.
No, it was
Everyone's
the
hot
Regirock
now.
It was
fight.
right before the Regirock
I
fight.
remember
Yeah. I remember there was a combat where I just didn't say it because I was so embarrassed.
That's
And then
really
I brought
funny.
it back
Called
because I
him
gave up on it.
cunty.
True.
Red Rock with a handbag.
True.
And you can hear me like stutter and hesitate to find the right word because it's usually
That's
say
the-
bad.
that's the
like,
funny
as
part about it. There's like a pause. It's like
The opposition.
the guys.
True.
It's like the who? Who are we talking about?
When I write it on my notebook for initiative, I write baddies.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Oh, they're hot.
I do the same thing now.
That's
So
fine.
funny. Oh man, that's so good. Awesome. Any final notes on the Quacko Packo journey 4-year stretch before we move on to something I'm very excited about? No? All right, let's
It's all
get
been
it.
said. It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was just awesome.
It was so good.
Again, there was a lot of learning, a lot of growth.
Mhm.
I don't know how widely known this is. There is one episode that we retconned and scratched completely. It is on Patreon. And for there being 110 episodes, and for like a first time thing for all of us, we invented the system. You know, it's based on 5e, obviously.
Sure.
But every time we played it, there was an update, there was a change. We kept being like, "What's more fun?"
Yeah.
You know, just so much collaboration and teamwork involved in this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for so long, I was hardly even like considering the story. I was just like, "What's a fun encounter?" You know.
Yeah.
For like years, I was doing that, and then for all of it to end, and then being like, and you especially, Glenn, helping like reveal like the things that tie together that started from the very beginning that I didn't even acknowledge. I don't know if any of us did. It's awesome. It's such a project that I'm so proud of, and I'm proud of all the players for participating, and I'm sure they're proud too. It's just so cool. I'm so glad to have done it. I'm so glad we were able to share it with so many people, and everyone loves it so much.
Yeah.
It's just really cool. I think that's my final summary of what we did. It's really cool.
Well said. I've always said that, actually.
Always said that.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And on the topic of things that are really cool, there is another campaign coming, correct?
What?
Correct.
Hey yo.
Whoa.
So
Whoa.
News to me.
I would like to what? What'd you say? What'd you say?
Whatever.
Okay,
I was doing a
okay.
bit.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it.
So for those of you who can't be bothered to heed Rich's instructions and listen to the end of the episode, despite countless times being told to do so,
What are you doing?
it was revealed. First of all, what are you doing? Second of all,
Come on.
at the very end of the finale, it is teased that there is a second campaign coming with Grace as the DM, which is super exciting. Before we move any further, any thoughts on just those facts? Being, first of all, like that's the first time maybe outside of the Discord that's on the record that it is outright said that campaign 2 is coming, if I'm not mistaken.
We have an announcement trailer.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. No, my mistake.
But
On
no,
YouTube
that
and
was for
Spotify.
a week or two. It was just the teaser.
Mhm.
It was
Um,
just a teaser.
And we were realizing in the Discord that people weren't getting it. Like, I was like, we're not
No.
obviously
So I was getting onto Richie because Richie was like just outright being like, "Did you listen to the end of the campaign?" Yep, Grace. There's a new campaign. Grace is going to be hosting it. Like, Richie, it's supposed to be a teaser. Let it tease for a little bit. And then we started doing the like teasers, the other things that have happened in Discord, the mystery, and then we realized like, no, they wouldn't have gotten any of that if Richie didn't outright confirm it. So I had to apologize to Richie because that was absolutely the right play, just to be like, yep, this is it. I'm confirming
It's
it.
true, because there's still people who are actively wrapping up the finale now who I'm pretty sure aren't aware that they should be waiting till the end and maybe don't know that campaign 2 is coming.
I know.
Which is so funny. I'm pleased to say that I've always been a stay till the end truther, because the outtakes are hilarious. That was my gateway drug into the post-show discussions, not gonna lie. So yeah, campaign 2, Grace is DMing. It is super exciting. Rich, you finally get to take a break, do some less maybe
you'd think.
not.
Yeah.
Go ahead, CJ.
You'd think he's taking a break, but
Yeah, well, he's not doing more or less improv, truly.
he's having a time, I would say.
All right. I have
positive.
Very
tone
positive.
indicator.
Very
Yeah.
positive.
Oh yeah.
Positive time.
these are things I have yet to confirm. So the first
Yeah.
2 episodes of the prologue series are currently on y'all's Patreon.
Yeah.
That is valuable information. If anybody's listening to this and does not know that, you should know that. You should go check out their Patreon, because the first 2 episodes of the prologue are live and they're very good. I've listened to them. I got by the Patreon bug, and like I started that free trial and I'm hooked. I'm never going back, because the content is so cool, and getting like an early look into stuff like this, so interesting. we talked a little bit beforehand because I don't want to like obviously what's the word, hijack anything for this channel, but I am curious as to what you guys can tell the greater audience, maybe general sweeping statements, and if you guys want to get into any type of specifics, you're welcome to. I invite that. But about even just the prologue or premise of the prologue, whether that's any character descriptors, setting descriptors, anything that you all think would be cool for the public to know. I'm opening the floor to and inviting any and all of that you are giving. If you guys have a particular order, cool. If not, we can start with Rich and go Melissa, Jacob, CJ, Grace.
Let's start with Grace because she might just say all the things.
Cool. Just kidding. Yeah,
I think it's
We'll
all
start
on
with
Grace.
Grace.
Yeah, that's the new DM.
Oh, true. Yeah. So we should. Yeah. What you are willing to share then.
Yeah, definitely a couple things. The prologue was a really fun, cool thing to record. I do have a trailer coming that I'm editing together to release hopefully Tuesday, giving you all the juicy details to the general public about what it will be about. I will say there is a bit of change of setting between the prologue and the main campaign itself. I'm not sure if that's... I did kind of clarify that in the campaign trailer. I'm not entirely sure if that's super obvious, but bit of a time difference, we'll say, between the prologue and the actual campaign itself, taking place in a whole new region, somewhere that is not Hoenn, so it'll be very fun and exciting. Something that we kind of planned that might be fun to reveal a little bit about the new campaign is to invite you to roll a d4, and depending on what number you roll, we will reveal the title of that episode number.
Got it. Hold on. I have like 4 monitors open right now. And I don't have any of my dice are all in my second room.
It's okay, you can use a...
I have landed on a 3, thanks to Google.
Okay, that one is called Hotboxing and Acid.
Can't wait.
So look forward to...
That's fucking awesome.
And it's not what you think.
Oh, I know it's not. There's no way.
That's actually my favorite one to land on, so good, great job.
Yes. Perfect.
We've had some really good titles now, I gotta tell you.
The titles are going to be so fun.
I'm so hyped. I think
to wrap up my thoughts on Campaign 2, I think Campaign 1, and to speak to what Melissa was talking about earlier, like, we all knew each other. We weren't, like, super, super close. You can tell that re-listening to episode 1 is a little bit of awkwardness. We're getting into the swing of things of role-playing with each other. Some of us, it's our first time role-playing.
Yeah.
But it was still, I mean, it's obviously a great start, and to see where we ended up is crazy. Campaign 2 starts off with a bang. It is just right out the gate insanity. It is huge and crazy and amazing
so
and
funny.
Are you describing specifically Campaign 2 or the prologue?
Campaign 2.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So nothing you've heard yet.
Got it. Exciting.
But the prologue was also very fun and exciting as well.
Yeah.
But
Kira's super underrated in that. She did a fantastic job with our space.
We love
especially
Kira.
the party for the first
Anytime
time. It was
Kira
great.
plays, I'm so hype about it. Like she's so much fun to listen to play. It's cool to also like just get an additional person with different perspectives and thoughts and comedy into the game. Like the Christmas special, so sick. The like Galar Gala, she's in Galar Gala, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she's Nessa. Like it's so cool to have like it's another person. It's like it's not DLC, but like that's like the vibe that you know what I mean.
Here's our DLC, pretty much.
Here is the DLC.
That's awesome.
Really
it's worth noting that when I asked her to edit for us, she had never consumed any TTRPG content.
What?
Yeah. So the first several episodes, she was like, "Is this where I put dice rolls? Like, I don't understand what's going on." And then like a year later, she's like playing with us, and she's doing great. So like everything that she knows about this type of game, she's absorbed through editing, which is crazy.
That is a way to learn about
She's
TTRPGs.
definitely got the D&D bug now. Yeah.
That's so sick. Yeah. Also, she's like a gamer about it too. Like I know in the Christmas special
Kira's
specifically.
like a gamer.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
She's bananas with it. So very cool. Exciting. I don't want to push my luck, which is why I'm contemplating so much. are you interested in sharing any information about the setting, time, or location of the prologue for campaign 2?
Sure, I'll reveal. Yeah, I mean the trailer I'm going to release is Tuesday, and it pretty much tells you everything you need to know. So
True.
I'll
Oh,
reveal
this is
it.
also
Yeah.
coming out on free feeds on Thursday, so this will be after that comes out.
Okay.
Oh, then
Oh, okay.
Let it rip.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Let
Yeah.
it rip. It takes place in the Kingdom of the Vale, which was basically the kingdom that existed 3,000 years before modern day Unova. So we're kind of taking a peek at more of a traditional D&D setting in a kind of medieval sense, which is really cool and something I've always wanted to explore. So
Yeah.
very exciting and fun.
Very, very cool. Cool. That's really interesting. There's been a lot of Unova love lately. And this was pointed out to me, by the way, by someone in the Calyrex Game Corner, is because I was like, somebody had said specifically, oh, there's been so much Gen 5 love lately. And I was like, yeah, I think that's true. Because we're doing like the Pokemon Black and White playthrough for book club. And also like the new TCG set that just came out. And that's all I listed because it had not been made clear to me at the time that the Kingdom of the Vale is far past Unova, which is so exciting. I'm a Unova head. I am unfortunately the same archetype of person that's like, like Gen 5 is the new Gen 1 in a lot of ways. And with Gen 1 having Gen 1 heads, like Gen 5 has their also annoying people, and I'm them. So
Me too. Don't worry, me too.
so it's super cool that that is the location you've chosen. I'm really hype about that. I don't have any other curiosities that aren't like really blatant and unashamed. So, or perhaps could you give maybe like an elevator pitch as far as premise for the prologue? I obviously like don't divulge more than you want to, but like anything like to get people's like toes wet per se. I hated that expression using it in the context, but like to get your feet wet, to get like, oh, this seems interesting, I want to tune into this, maybe I'll jump on the Patreon early to get access to it sooner. But obviously you don't have to.
I think the premise of it being 3,000 years ago in the Kingdom of the Vale, 5 unlikely citizens of the kingdom are brought together for an important job to protect the people and Pokemon of the region. And shenanigans ensue, surely.
They sure do.
As it's kind of, sort of a heist of sorts.
A heist?
So very exciting.
Very cool. Thank you. I hope I wasn't too like shameless with the coaxing. That was...
No, I'm glad to talk about it.
It's exciting for myriad reasons. And I'm definitely like under like curse of knowledge type of circumstances where I can't unknow that this is the information. And I'm so excited about it that I fear that everyone else should. And I just don't have that many instances of $3 for everybody so that they can all experience it. Via your Patreon, which folks should go visit right now. That's so exciting. Does anybody have things that they would like to share that they're excited about, or that they're able to? I didn't understand that, like, obviously DM's discretion, so by all means defer to... I know we have
take the reins.
I know we have
The
like
vibes
the
are
vibes
immaculate.
are they okay?
I might be able to give something to more substance, and Grace can blast me if she thinks I'm overstepping, but it's more specific to I will say for all of our one shots, most of them, we do pre-generated characters just because it makes things simpler and it gets you more into like the story of it without worrying too much. I do want to say the character I chose to play in the prologue, I specifically chose because I wanted to test elements of my campaign 2 character.
Okay.
Is that okay to say, Grace? Or is that too much?
Yeah, anything about your characters you're welcome to share.
Okay.
That's your responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is kind of what I was hoping to get information on, is maybe the characters. I just wanted to make sure that was okay with you, Grace.
It's not one-to-one by any means, but there's a lot of elements of the character I play in the prologue that I was like, I want to like kind of test the waters before I dive fully into this new campaign that will take a long time. Yeah. There's elements of them that carries over.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Does anybody else have tidbits about their specific... I'm asking specifically prologue character, just because I don't want to overstep, that anybody wants to share. I know there are some characters that I think the gut punch of the way they are should probably be left to until you hear it. But if anybody has anything that they want to leak early ish, the floor is now open to do so.
Honestly, if our characters aren't funny, then it wouldn't be worth listening to. So they are actually funny.
They're so good.
Don't worry,
so
there are
funny.
silly little voices. I won't tell you what they are, but they are hilarious.
True, and they also last longer than every other voice so far. The record is 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Yeah, cool. That's really exciting. I urge all the viewers at home. Oh, sorry, Grace, were you about to say something?
I was gonna just add something real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
If you're a Taylor Swift fan, it's not like super important to like the integrity of the prologue, but all of the generated characters that I made are based off of Taylor Swift eras, and there's some fun references in there. So if you like Taylor Swift and little Easter eggs like that,
it's like it's
I
not super
had to
important.
Have that explained to me.
Yeah, and if you like hate or don't like Taylor Swift, it does not impact the story at all.
no, right.
So,
No,
No, but it's just
Don't
like
worry
just
about
for
it.
like Taylor Swift, like you could go fuck yourself. Like
yeah.
You do, obviously.
Don't listen, buddy. Get out of my face.
Yeah.
No, but if you are at minimum like you're aware of Taylor Swift lore to some capacity, there's some like little things that's like yes.
There's definitely those moments. It's one of those moments where it makes me like my being married to a huge Swiftie definitely enhances my enjoyment of the prologue for sure. A lot of little Easter eggs, even just like the silly stuff that's like very blatant. There is a line that is spoken by Rich in episode, I think in both episodes. Is it in
Maybe,
episode 1? Yeah.
It's both.
Where
probably.
it's just like, yeah, that's right. I love that.
Yeah.
He said the thing.
He said the thing.
He said the thing. It's so good. It's hilarious. It's really cool encounter design. It's really cool character design. From a like a consumer of the podcast, like I'm really enjoying it so far. Also, I didn't plan on talking about this, and we don't have to talk about it very long before we wrap. But I also wanted to say to you guys, I've been loving the talkbacks that you're doing. In the meantime, I also understand you guys are way ahead of us on talkbacks. And general recording.
Are we
not way ahead?
Not way ahead. Okay.
I mean, how much is way ahead to you?
I mean, way ahead is like 4 episodes.
You got it exactly.
What?
I think so. Right?
About double that actually.
On both
I think.
ends, yeah, on both ends.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay, sweet, nice. Yeah, then you're definitely way ahead.
We're trying to get ahead for sure because, as you know, there were times in the first campaign where the storytelling and gameplay suffered because we were on crunch time, which is why we went from weekly releases to bi-weekly. So we want to make sure that going into this campaign that we could keep the vibes by like just getting ahead of it, not worrying, like focusing on the game rather than the content they're releasing. Which, by the way, Grace has taken over a lot of content, like scheduling and stuff, and it's nice. She's doing great. It's so cool. It's a relief for me, I will say. But she's also just doing way better than I was doing.
Content administration is hard.
It's a skill. Hard. It's real, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't devastating to the campaign, but it was lousy in campaign 1 where we were like stressed about deadlines. Where now we're just, you can tell from the gameplay that we're going crazy.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait to hear like more about campaign 2 and to experience more of it. And to pop off in the Discord when things are happening.
I want to give you credit for being the first to solve the starter riddle.
Thanks.
You technically did.
I did solve it.
Not trying to help at all.
There was no help. You did it 100% by yourself.
Man. So
all on call while that was happening.
We
sometimes
we were just typing in the Discord. I think.
Yeah, we were typing in our own Discord while that was happening, and we're like,
we appreciate you for participating. Is really the big thing. It's like thank you for like engaging.
But it was, as a third party, it was very funny in real time to watch the gears turn. So
for those who are uninitiated, the cast has been leaving hints about the starters for campaign 2, like the starter Pokemon, and I think a couple of other things, including like the location being Unova adjacent, just throughout the Discord, including like some Easter eggs in like the rules page of the Discord server, and like profile pictures and stuff like that. And what the catalyst for it, I technically was the first person to solve the starters. However, I technically already knew. So I had joined the Patreon and my account was linked to Discord just in time to one of the more recent messages had been somebody divulging the information that the players' profile pictures were depictions of their starter Pokemon.
You saw it on the Patreon?
I saw that in the Patreon Discord. I saw that and then paid no further thoughts to it. I think I was like, oh, I'll tuck that away for later, and then maybe I'll look into it, maybe I won't. And then fast forward a couple days, the next thing I see talking about like,
it was the next day.
It was the next day. It was Grace sent a message with like a team talking about Reg J for VGC, and I just being just hanging around. I didn't want to like be crazy. It was like, oh, she's just shit posting in Dunsparce discussion, which to be fair is not beyond you.
No,
but I even like engaged with it like a reasonable person was like, oh no, you should throw Volcanion in there because that's get like really good coverage or whatever. Just because I was trying to be like helpful. Come to find out, the team sheet that she listed was like contained the types for each of the Pokemon that are starters. I still paid it no mind, and then later on there's like everyone hammering home like really emphasizing like stuff about types, and so I put on I really try to put on my thinking cap and like go look at the types of all of the team sheet, and through much coaxing and hand holding perhaps, I discovered that
they were teasing. I was crashing out.
He was crashing. He's like,
my absolute favorite thing. So we took a screenshot of me with my Sinistea profile picture saying and Ghost with the Sinistea, right?
It was so funny watching everybody come into the chat.
Yeah,
it was just like, man, if only there was a way to tell.
Only there was a way to tell. It was just there was no hints at all. And I understand why the confusion was there. Like, I get it.
That's fair.
I just put that together. Oh my god.
So funny.
It was like all the types except Ghost. I was like, and Ghost? Is that too obvious?
I thought you were just correcting me. Because I'm sitting here like trying to find out which two types go together. I'm racking my brain. Only a couple of other people are even weighing in on it, so I feel like I'm on my own about it. I was in the lab, guys. I was trying so hard. Oh my god.
To be fair, I had a little bit of redirection because mine wasn't a crabby. It was just a real ass crab.
Oh god. Yeah, that's true.
No, but I changed mine to a teacup because I had a whole eyeball thing. It's a whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
Personal branding, but
yeah, nothing to do with branding.
But I had a teacup as my profile picture for a long time, and I was like, oh no, is that too obvious?
That was the main question for all of us. Is this too obvious?
Yeah, we've
clearly not.
Is this too obvious? The answer is always no.
And every time we did something, we're like, oh no, is this too obvious? And then like a month passed, and we were like,
no.
I'm sick of these people not getting our hints. We're gonna be as obvious as we possibly can.
Right. I was like I'm in my bio. I'm pretty sure I still have it now. It's like, the voice of Gimli in redacted. I have the Dudley boys throwing someone through a table.
Oh man.
I'm just like, what can I do, dude?
I have been crab posting in the Discord for months.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, I just thought you were shit posting.
And that's fair.
Oh god, that's so funny.
It is.
And can I leak the starters since I
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
they're already they're leaked. So
they're leaked like
they're in the Discord.
Are they in the
they
trailer?
were in spoiler discussion,
spoiler chat.
so it's public.
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know if they were in
Your message is pinned in spoiler chat.
Yeah, you solved it, so congrats. You get
Awesome.
credit.
Yeah, you get the credit.
All right.
When you
thank
leak
thank
it to other people, say, I figured this out. Just me.
Yeah.
Oh, the leak is
Just you. There was nothing else. There were no hints.
Yeah.
There was no other people.
True, I did this
It's
on
just
my
you.
own.
Yes.
Let
get
me
credit.
pull it up then because I don't want to be wrong and I am bad at remember. So the starters for campaign 2 are Hawlucha, Sinistea, Krabby, and Magnemite. Hence, our friend on Richie's Mic Boom.
Yeah. It's like who do they belong to though?
Yeah.
We just
No
can't
idea.
know.
No idea.
There's just no
Who
way
could they
of knowing.
possibly be?
No way. Yeah.
It's super exciting though. Those are really cool mons.
Yes.
I'm really hyped for Hawlucha. Hawlucha is one of my favorite guys.
Yeah.
I actually said I'm like doing the Pokemon Black playthrough on this channel right now, and I mistakenly said in the early parts of the playthrough that I was really hyped because I've forgotten that Hawlucha is not Gen 5, and that it is in fact Gen 6. I was so hyped, and then I learned that Hawlucha is Gen 6 and got really sad about it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite guys ever. Very cool design. But yeah, so those are the starters that I learned about all by my own with no hints or help.
Very good.
That will be represented in campaign 2. And I'm very excited about it, and I hope that you all also will be very excited about it listening at home. Oh, man. Guys, it's been almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
True.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess with that, any closing remarks about campaign 1 or 2 moving forward before I kind of close out the show?
I just want to thank you, man. You approach us and our content, and not just like us as players, but like us as people, with like such a level of respect that I really appreciate, man.
Yeah.
We don't get that super often, like the level of respect and care that you put into us and our content. So
Well, thank you. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I've appreciated I don't want to refer to it as a product, but the presentation that is like Dunsparce and Drampa as an art form for like so long. I've been listening to this show almost as long as I've been married. So which is like very like I'll be celebrating 5 years in October. I'm very excited about it. But like you guys have been tangentially in my life for almost the same amount of time as like this legally like this like holy matrimony type beat. And that's important to me. And that's
why we're all getting married to you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is the
That's the
ceremony.
campaign 2 reveal.
And the big reveal, Polycule.
Love the Polycule jump scare.
Polycule reveal. That's
Polycule
awesome.
Jump Scares, a dope band name.
Sorry for taking away from the
And
gravity.
that's episode 5's title, baby.
Oh my god, write it down right now.
That's awesome. But yeah, like I was raised in theater, and so I have a deep appreciation for theater, and this is certainly that.
That's so funny because we all have like arts and like theater adjacent experience.
Yeah.
And, like not in the traditional sense. Like I was very much backstage tech like type of thing. You know, Rich like did a bunch of management stuff. Like, and we all had different things
That's super
that
cool.
like kind of is associated with that. And I don't know, like it's different when you're in that space. You just appreciate work in that space, like regardless of what kind of level it is. It's just so neat.
No, precisely. And that is where like a big part of it comes from, is my heart for musical theater and theater in general. And also like content creation, because granted, I've started up doing that more recently, but I understand that like there are people on the other side of the screen, and that it is, while to me it's theater, to you guys it's companionship in a game and life that you're experiencing throughout as you play. Like you have experiences that your character is going through, but also that you're going through. And I have a deep respect for that, because I know what that's like. And I think people deserve the respect of that experience. So I appreciate you guys just for being as transparent as you are, and so much fun to come on the show. I'm so deeply appreciative of that, because it's fun to not only like talk to you guys in the Calyrex Game Corner, but also just to be able to talk about this piece of art that I've consumed and you all have consumed in a different way, but has certainly impacted all of us and several more people in very deep ways. So I appreciate you guys for that very reason. Any last closing thoughts before I kind of wrap up and make sure I put get everybody's links put together? No? Cool.
No, I don't think so.
Thanks for being the Sean Evans.
No problem.
Yeah.
Of
It's a huge
Dunsparce
honor.
Drampa. Your questions, we've only done it twice, but we've done it for like 6 hours now.
Yeah.
Combined. And the questions are just so insightful and like things that I'd never considered. And you're pointing out things like episode 89, the foreshadowing, stuff from early on, like the character arcs that like, I don't know if the players noticed, but I never noticed. I'm like, wow, thank you. That's super cool.
Yeah.
So I appreciate
I can't believe
your...
you knew that. I thought you were going to tell like actual facts about my life coming up. Like it was just like...
Well, yeah, thank you. I plan on continuing to be a little gremlin with my red wire in the background for the campaign 2. Super excited about it. this is more now speaking to the listeners at home. Thank you for watching my show. You owe it to yourself to listen to Dunsparce and Drampa. I cannot bestow higher praise on a D&D campaign, mostly because I haven't listened to a bunch, but also largely because this show has impacted me pretty substantially, and I am certain that if you are a TTRPG or Pokemon fan, that you will have a blast listening. And you've got a lot to catch up on. So by all means, be certain to go watch the show, go watch the finale, subscribe to their Patreon. Patreon. I'll leave all your links in the description. I do want to ask, go around the horn and say goodbye. Starting with Grace, where can the folks at home find you? Are you just gonna have like a link tree? Your link tree, I think you have a link tree. Is that correct?
I do. Yes.
Okay. I will leave that in the description below. Is that all your socials as well as Dunsparce stuff? Cool.
I think I might have a link to the Dunsparce link tree in there, but yeah, probably.
CJ, how about yourself? Do you have links outside of a link tree? Aren't you off the grid?
I am off the grid. So if they want to talk to me, you can only talk to me on Discord. Otherwise, you can't find me.
That's right. Join the CGC Discord. You owe it to yourself.
Definitely do that. You owe it to yourself.
Jacob, how about yourself?
Same Discord. I do have a Blue Sky I post to periodically.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It's Galactic Squids with 2 Z's everywhere.
Certainly.
Yeah, but mostly just stay to Discord. I do plan on picking up streaming back up fairly soon, and I'll post all my links in there for that.
Sweet.
So.
I will, of course, leave your links in the description as well. Everybody's links will be found in the description below. Everybody's link trees or socials. There'll be a lot of links in this episode. The Patreon and the Discord will also be present. Melissa, how about yourself?
I think I have a link tree.
Okay.
Just with everything all put together.
I think you've sent that to me in the past.
Yes.
And then Rich, for you.
I've the Discord and the Blue Sky. I live in that server. That's Calix Acorn is my home. If you want to talk to me, that's the way to do it.
Sweet. Awesome. All of these links and many more will be in the description below. I am going to ask if you guys will preemptively send me those because I will forget. And then, of course, if you enjoyed this content at all, I feel a little weird because I have guests with their own Patreon on the show, but I will ask that if you have enjoyed this content and would like to see more and get early access, I also have a Patreon for it. It is patreon.com/terminalcreative, where $1 a month gets you early access to every episode and access to my bonus show, N21 Plus, and then $5 a month will get you is the audience participation tier, where you get a sneak peek into guests for each month, as well as a chance to have your questions read on the show, either for the regular show or for any interviews I do. And then the $15 a month tier is a producer credit and your name read at the end of the show. We currently do not have any takers for that tier, but I hope to someday populate it. And anybody's support is appreciated. I thank you all. Most of all, the biggest and most important support is that you guys are able to come out and listen, and it means the world to me that anybody cares what the hell I have to say about Pokemon or anything else about it. So thank you most of all for that. My links, as well as the links of everyone depicted in this episode, will be below. I cannot stress enough to go check those out. You owe it to yourself, and it's a great time to jump in. So thank you so much for watching, and that is all I have to say. Goodbye.